listening to this podcast to hear two guys talk about how much they love Twilight, you might be a redneck. Because you're listening to Dead and Lovely, the greatest horror movie review podcast in this multiverse and beyond. Here with the host with the most, it is I, Uncle Ben.
And me, Hollywood Steve.
And, you know, usually whenever we do a movie that's kind of on the fringe of all things horror, such as a Twilight.
Or Blade, which we did last week. Yeah.
I'm sure we're probably going to get some new listeners and stuff that might be tuning in for the first time.
Yeah.
And, yeah, if you're hoping for some really great news about more people that love Twilight like you.
Sorry.
This is probably not going to be the episode
If you are a Twihard, you might want to turn around right now.
Twihard, that's what they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are going to be talking a whole lot of shit about Twilight on this episode. Oh my god. It's so fucking terrible.
It is really bad.
It's so fucking terrible.
Show her hand immediately. There's no...
Yeah, spoilers.
There's no, beating around this bush.
No.
we did not like this movie.
But I have had myself a pretty good week. You know, it's funny. I feel like it has been a month of Sundays since we did a podcast. It's actually been a week.
One single week, yeah.
But the thing is it's been 1 week since we did a show. So we did about 4 episodes, I think, in 2 weeks or something.
No, it was about a week, a little over a week, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were really putting in the overtime. So now it's like, now that it's kind of back to a normal schedule, I'm like, oh wow, been a while since we did this. But not really.
It really hasn't, no.
No. What you been doing this week, Steve?
Let's see. I've been up to no good.
Uh-oh, look out.
Like Inglewood.
Really?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Mostly, I did some editing, but then I was trying to really get my research on Twilight on to have something to say.
Okay. I got something to say.
If some Twihard sticks around, they might be like, hey, I didn't know that. Or, what an interesting take.
Okay. Yeah.
So I spent some time on that, trying to make that good. But I also have discovered by beating Super Mario Brothers every day.
Every day?
Over the week, yeah.
Spring break.
I've done it once a day. I can now beat it, and this is asterisk score, but I can beat it in under 10 minutes.
That is not much time at all.
Yeah. Now I am doing quick saving and quick loading.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I'm playing on an emulator, so I can just I can save wherever. Like I can just press. I have it on the triggers, the right trigger and left trigger. I can press the right trigger, and if I press the left trigger, it'll reload that exact.
Oh, so you're right back to where you left off. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'll die. I can die like maybe 5 times in a run, but I'm getting to the point where a lot of the things where I first started playing it, whenever we had the conversation about I haven't beat Mario, whenever I first started playing it, things that seemed impossible are now like easy, like simple to do. So I also started playing Super Mario World, which I said maybe a couple episodes ago that I had never really played.
And it's fantastic,
It's fucking awesome. Yeah, it's so fun.
Awesome. Yeah. It really is the logical next step to Super Mario 3.
Yeah, it just added in some new interesting dynamics, but I like side-scroller platforms.
Yep.
Fun.
Awesome soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Super tight controls. Yeah. And just wonderful, colorful graphics and stuff.
Too much Yoshi abuse, though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A little much?
You know, did you know, this has been confirmed, whenever Yoshi sticks his tongue out, Mario punches Yoshi in the back of the head to make him do it.
Oh, yeah, he like donkey punches him, totally.
Yeah, full-on donkey punch.
That's not nice.
That's not nice.
That's not a very nice way to do that, Mario. That's animal abuse.
Why did they make that? Like, why couldn't they have done something else? Like, Mario didn't even have to do anything.
No.
Yoshi could just do the motion.
Dude, I heard that the original draft was that Mario was going to have this, like, dreadlock that he, like, inserted into a port in the back of Yoshi's head.
Yeah, and they're actually having sex the whole time.
Yeah, and they're linking up and stuff like that. I think that's what
Avatar style.
Oh, no, that was Avatar. Yeah. Right. Okay,
that's Navio, not Mario.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's me, Navio.
I got the unobtainium. What?
Oh, man, that movie's a pile of shit. Unobtainium, it's called.
Fuck you.
Oh my god.
At no point, no one stopped and said, let's just not do that.
Maybe that's a dumb name.
How about Somethingham? That's better.
Yeah.
Somethingham is better than Unobtainium. Boy, that sounds hard to get.
Look, so you've been getting your gaming on. That's pretty dope, man. I look forward to hearing your continuing adventures through the world of Super Mario.
Yeah, well, I'm really just prepping to start streaming games, and I'm going to be streaming horror games, but I don't want to play those because the fun is the fact that I don't know anything about them, and I legit get afraid of horror games.
You say, yikes.
Yeah, jump scares in horror games. I mean, jump scares in general work on everybody because it's a startle response and you can't stop yourself.
Yeah, you can't help it.
Yeah. But horror game jump scares devastate me.
Wow.
I can't deal with them. So that's going to be fun.
You been watching anything?
What did I watch? I watched Overlord.
Overlord?
The J.J. Abrams zombie movie.
I've been wondering about that, if it was any good. How was it?
I enjoyed it. It was fun. I thought the opening of the movie is the strongest part for sure. It is a very good depiction of war and how brutal and ridiculous and scary it is.
Okay.
The ending would be more divisive, I think, because I saw John Latour also watched it and he did not like the ending, and I won't say anything about the ending.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
We already know it's a World War II zombie movie.
Can you give me like a back of the box kind of summary of what this would be about? Because I don't know anything about it actually.
Secret military strike on a particular target where they don't know everything about what's going on there, and then they slowly find out what's going on there, and it's horrific and scary.
And it's zombies.
Yeah, it's kind of a concentration camp idea sort of thing, but more of the super soldier idea. Because zombies were trying to create a super soldier. Not zombies. Nazis. Zombies might be currently trying to create a super soldier.
I can't say that they're not.
Yeah. I mean, not that Nazis were the only ones trying to create a super soldier. We were doing it here in America too.
Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Based on a true story, Captain America. Everybody knows that.
You may have heard of him, huh?
So is the movie pretty good?
I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. It's on Hulu, so it's definitely worth a watch. Maybe it's on HBO. I have my HBO through Hulu.
Okay, yeah. Same.
Yeah. But I think it's worth a watch. I thought it was really fun and an interesting way of doing zombies that has been done a little bit before, and you've seen it in video games and stuff, but it's fun still, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to get a pull to that, Steve.
All right.
Talking about this movie's making me thirsty. I gotta crack me open a cold beer.
What is this right here in front of us?
Fortunately, we got ourselves a couple of cold ones from some very fantastic fans.
Yes, we did.
Got them in the mail this week, even.
Yep. Jason and Miles sent us these all the way from the Pacific Northwest. And this one that we're going to be tasting right now is a Great Notion Brewing Blueberry Muffin.
Blueberry Muffin. They sent us this, and they sent us a couple other ones we're going to space out over the next couple episodes here. That way we can further enjoy them. But today we're both rocking our pints of Blueberry Muffin. And I got to say, on top of sending us a couple of great code beers,
this is a really nice
note. Very sweet letter.
Thanks,
Thank you guys so much for your fandom support and for your beers. This pulls for you.
It says here on the thing that it's made with blueberry cereal. So
really,
if you haven't seen our Monster cereal taste test video, go check that out to find out how we feel about blueberry.
That's right. Now I'm pouring this into the glaze right now, and it is a kind of a plum color.
Yeah,
wasn't expecting that. Oh, and you can smell the blueberry immediately.
Yes,
it's like super blueberry smelling. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what kind of beer this is. Is it a sour or what is this?
It says on here with a passion for hops and the patience for sour. So maybe it's a hoppy sour?
Yo, speaking of which, man, speaking of sours. So right down the street from me in the old city in Knoxville, Abridged, which is maybe my favorite brewery in Knoxville. Phenomenal, but they're out in West Knoxville.
Yeah.
They opened up this thing called the Oak Room, which is their all sours place. And dude,
where is it?
It's down central.
Okay.
It's fucking absurd.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Okay.
It really, really reminded me of going to Asheville and going to the Funkatorium.
Okay.
Where that's just what they specialize in and they just kill it. Dude, we've got to go. They're only open Fridays and Saturdays. You will be out of your mind in love with this place.
Is there a way? You think there'd be a way to line up their opening hours and Adopo's opening hours for the same day?
That'd be okay.
You know how Adopo's open every other Thursday if the sun is in the right place in the sky?
Yeah. Let's get ourselves a taste of this thing here. It smells absolutely fantastic. What do you think about that? What's that do to you?
Okay, it is a sour. Okay, it tastes so much like cereal when you breathe out through your nose.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have that gross, cloyingly sweet taste that blueberry has.
No. But it is actually still
tastes like
quite
blueberry,
tart.
Though. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That for sure has a good tartness to it.
Whoa. I can't say I've had anything like that. That's
that's
almost
unique.
It's almost somewhere in between, like the flavor of a sour and also like a really, really tasty energy drink.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
It has a little bit of that thing going on to
like
it.
the blueberry Red Bull.
It's got that kind of sweet tarty kind of thing going on.
But in a very good way.
Dang, that's awesome. I'm really stoked about that. What is that, a 6%er, I think? Yeah, I enjoy that very much. Thank you guys so much for dropping us a pull in the mail.
Good stuff.
Yeah, we love sampling the beers of people all across this great nation.
Yeah, just email us, deadandlovelypod@gmail.com. We'll send you an address. I believe RDM's patented way of sending beers is to wrap them up real good in bubble wrap, use the medium-sized priority mailbox, and if they ask you what's in it, say local crafts.
That's true. It's not a lie.
It's not a lie.
It is not a lie. Local crafts.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Well, thank you guys. This is fantastic. I have had myself a little bit of time to watch a couple of things this week, Steve.
Oh, what'd you watch?
I went this week and watched a Kevin Smith.
Oh, right.
Over at the Bijou Theater, man. Of course, I've been a big old Kevin Smith fan for a long time. Yeah. As some of you guys might know, he's got his Jay and Silent Bob reboot that just hit theaters. And him and Jason Mewes are doing a tour where they go around, they show the movie, and then they do kind of a Q&A thing at the end. This is like our third or fourth time seeing Kevin Smith, which is awesome. And the night before the show, we watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Okay.
One of my perennial favorites. It's just so great and dumb and fun.
Yeah.
It is just seriously like a filthy Looney Tunes cartoon with Jay and Silent Bob in it, and it's live action. I love Strike Back so much. It's fantastic. So we went with our man Ben Gibson. We had some dinner, and we went and watched the reboot show the next day. It's a lot of fun, man. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think that, like, if you are not a dyed-in-the-wool, you've seen all the movies, you've listened to the podcast, Kevin Smith fan.
It pays off on a lot of Easter eggs, I imagine.
Oh, I mean, it's just 100% fan service.
Yeah, so if you don't know all that stuff, you're not going to enjoy it. So that would explain why there might be some negative reviews.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I think that, like, at this point in his career, and I think that Kevin Smith knows it too, which is smart, but it's like, I think he knows he's not necessarily gaining new fans.
No, but he's got enough.
Yeah, and so you just cater to
that's
them.
an audience, yeah.
It's the same effect that, like, I think a lot of things that got popular in the 90s, like Third Eye Blind. Like, who's the last new Third Eye Blind fan?
But
probably 20 years ago.
They're still touring, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they
probably
go around.
Still making good money on it.
Fuck yeah, dude! I went and saw him like 2 years ago, and it was an awesome show.
I bet,
because they catered to their fan base that fell in love with them in the 90s, and they played Jumper and fucking.
I was going to say, did they play Jumper? What else would they play?
I know, right? Although it really did blow my mind. That band has so many hits. So many
hits.
They
do.
Yeah. So I think that Kevin Smith knows that he's just like, yeah, you know what? My fans are my fans that have been my fans for the past 20 years. So let's just go ahead and give them what they want.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's what horror conventions are, sci-fi conventions, all of that. That's gathering together people who like things that don't get center stage.
Yeah.
But still, you like them. You want to go see them.
Totally, man. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I recommend seeing it if you're a big old Kevin Smith fan like we are, because it was definitely a blast.
Yeah, cool.
What'd you guys watch for that streaming chat this week, man?
Dude, let me tell you.
I was really fucking busy over this past weekend. I had a Smooth Sailor show, at a funeral I had to go to. Yeah, so I had kind of a lot going on.
What if you... Because it sounded like you said this until you said I had to go to. I thought you said I had a Smooth Sailor show at a funeral.
Now that would be quite a way to go out.
That's interesting.
I think the casket's being lowered into the grave, and it's like, sailing takes me away. You know? Just some real easy going.
That would work, yeah.
It would kind of, it'd be okay. You know?
It'd be cool. So we watched, what the fuck was it? Okay. The Last Vampire on Earth is what it's called.
And again, if you're a first-time listener to the show...
Oh, yeah. Friday nights, we have a stream and chat thing where we get on Discord and we stream a movie from YouTube on watchtogether.com, so we're all synced up.
Everybody's drinking.
We pick very bad movies. We tend to go with horror movies. That's what I would prefer, but sometimes we watch some other stuff because...
fringe stuff.
It's just bad.
Shake it up.
Yeah. So we talk shit, get drunk. It's fun. We did The Last Vampire on Earth,
Dude, I so wanted to watch this because you sent me the poster,
Yes.
and I was like, this looks amazing.
It's like a Twilight ripoff. If basically, you know how a lot of guys in the emo period, there'd be like these real broad shoulders dudes that would be like busting out of their emo shirt, and they'd have a lip ring and their hair all in their eyes. Dude. But it was like, that dude weighs like 200 pounds. He's working out every day. That guy's ripped.
Nobody's beating him up. Why is he so sad?
Yeah, exactly. That's what this dude looked like. Like, It's just like, you're too big for anyone to have ever made you emo.
Nobody's been mean to you.
Yeah. And then, oh, the poor girl. She just wasn't an actress. There's no way she was an actress.
Yeah.
It's just somebody that making the movie was obsessed with her or something and wanted to
I'll put you in a movie, babe.
Yeah. But she couldn't act. He couldn't. Neither one of them could act. It really was like, and there were actually scenes that were very obviously in a community college drama class.
Nice.
So it really was just like some kids in a drama class were like, let's make a Twilight ripoff.
You want to make a movie this weekend? Yeah.
Yeah. And they did.
Oh my God.
It's basically replaced the Mormon elements in Twilight for Jehovah's Witnesses. And that's it. No big changes other than that.
So it was way more aggressive. No birthday parties.
Oh, also no werewolves, but there are no werewolves in the first Twilight either.
Really.
So, I mean, they are there, but they never show up.
Was this like actually a Jeho Witness movie? Was it put up together by like Jehovah's Witnesses?
I don't think so. I think they just picked that, maybe because they were more familiar with it than Mormonism.
So how do you tie that mythology in with vampire mythology?
They really didn't go out of their way to make anything make sense.
Great.
But there were some deep conversations between the girl's dad and the vampire because he was a theology guy or something, the dad. Oh, also the vampire's name was Aurelius. And no one called him by a nickname of any sort.
Ari or anything like that.
Yeah, just Aurelius every time someone addressed him.
Way to blend, immortal person.
This is great writing. This is why teenagers should get to write movies.
Oh my God, dude. So it was amazing is what you're saying.
It was fucking terrible. And then we watched Rockula, which is made by the guy Nicola Berkovici who made Ghoulies.
I remember you talking about Rockula.
Yeah, Rockula is terrible.
It's like a rock star vampire or something, right?
It's like if you sewed together a bunch of music videos and all of the songs was a guy singing about how he's a vampire and he has vampire teeth. And then people are like, third act, wait, you're a vampire?
Now, hang on. I thought that we were talking about Rockula, not Queen of the Damned.
Oh, shit. Queen of the Damned. Yeah, because when we were watching this, Queen of the Damned definitely rips off Rockula. For sure. Like, dude, there's, of course, because it's like, I think it was 1988 was the year this was made. Oh, wait, no, it was 90. Of course, because of that, because you know how whenever rap came out, the first response of white people was, well, that's just talking. Rap is crap. And then the next response of white people was, of course, well, we're going to try to do that,
Maybe
right?
I try to do some of that myself. Well, my name is Jim, and I'm here to say doing some
beat
rap
starts a
makes
goddamn
my
same
day.
way. Yeah, so white people in the late 80s, early 90s all thought every rap was to the same beat. And had the same sort of setup structure. There are 2 raps in the movie.
Oh my God, I love it already.
Okay, so the guy, the main guy is the main guy from Ski School and Summer School. Do you remember Summer School?
No.
Okay, Summer School is one that I have.
Like a fucking John Lovitz or somebody?
No. It's, what's his name? Mark Harmon.
Okay,
from NCIS.
I was thinking of like a Rodney Dangerfield movie or something.
Oh, yeah. Back to School.
Back to School. Okay. So, no, I don't know these movies.
Summer School has a place in my heart because this guy, Dean, whatever his name is, and some other guy, they're horror movie obsessed guys in the Summer School. Okay. And they talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre all the time, and they do like some really cool like special effects stuff. And when I was little, I loved that because I was like, I want to be like those guys.
Tommy
and then when
Jarvis.
I was a teenager, I was like, they're fucking dorks. But yeah, anyway, Rockula is terrible, but I saw it as a kid, and I had this like feeling like it was real, but it was pre-internet, so like you couldn't really check to see if Rockula was real.
Okay, yeah. And
I also, for some reason, like I I mixed up a bunch of stuff that happens in Rockula with a movie called My Best Friend is a Vampire.
I know of that one.
Yeah.
I think maybe I've seen
that. That one has...
It's another 80s movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And it's got the guy from House, the guy who was from Dead Poets Society. Yeah.
Yep.
That one's funny. Yeah, that one's actually a good movie, I think, still. I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's been a couple of years, but I think I liked it. Yeah.
But Rockula's just terrible.
Oh, man.
It's seriously just a bunch of music videos. Like, barely tied together with a story about a guy who's a vampire who talks to a mirror image of himself, which is an actual other entity.
What?
Who comes out at the end and sings a song as Elvis.
That makes tons of sense. I don't know what you're talking about. That makes perfect sense to me.
The movie is really fucking bad.
Sounds
it was a fun time.
Well, Steve, it sounds like that was a pretty bad movie, but I think that we've seen worse. I think that we've seen worse along the course of, even doing this podcast. On this show, we love to cover ourselves some of our absolute favorites. I mean, we've done The Shining, we've done Texas Chainsaw,
some great
Elm
ones.
Street, some great stuff. But the feedback that I've gotten from a lot of our listeners is that as much as they love us deep diving and dissecting one of our favorite flicks, I think they also love just hearing us talk shit about something that's clearly just a big pile of hot garbage.
They really do.
And Twilight absolutely redefines
hot garbage
that we have covered on this podcast. I mean, it makes so many of these movies that we've done on the show seem like fucking masterpieces by comparison. So I say, before we get into the movie review portion of this show, how about we just take ourselves a little detour into the Preview Palace.
Welcome to the Preview Palace.
And let's spend a little bit of time here talking about some of the worst flicks that we've ever covered on the podcast. If you guys enjoy this episode and want to hear us talk more shit, maybe go through those back episodes. We're on episode like 130 something now.
This will be 137.
Wow. So dig through the archives. There's a lot of great stuff. There's also some times that we talked about some absolute bullshit. Now, there's some let's talk about some of the minor offenders that we've had here on the show.
We've covered some movies that we just thought were bad, but they're not like the worst movie ever. Like House of a Thousand Corpses. Yeah,
that's one of those flicks that is just a big hodgepodge of blatantly ripped off influences from other things.
Right, but it's also like it's got some good points to it, and there's elements of it that are fun.
It introduced some cool characters and stuff, but overall not all great. All that great. Still better than any movie I've ever made.
Sure. Absolutely.
I could say the same thing about like the It miniseries.
Same thing, yeah. It miniseries, directed by a guy who directed a movie we did a few
we did. We did
ago.
something not long ago. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. Anyway, but that movie is fine. I mean, Tim Curry's good in it. It's too long, but that can be said of the It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the source material. Again,
the source material is gigantic.
Yeah.
So that movie, not great, but it's also like serviceable, and it had an impact on people.
Clearly,
yeah, because people
fucking traumatized
saw it as kids
and stuff.
It fucked them up.
Vampires by John Carpenter. I'd also put that
movie.
Same
because it's directed by John Carpenter. It looks great,
so it's competently made.
It's well made. Yeah,
it's just boring.
It's just boring.
It's just not very fucking good. Yeah. But again, those are all things that I look at and I'm like, well, it's better than I could make a movie.
True.
Which is not something I can say about some of these other flicks that we've done on the show that we have just detested. I think the first movie that we did that you just absolutely fucked the shit out of was Final Destination.
Final Destination is terrible.
You hated that
movie because none of it sticks together for me. It doesn't carry any of the real elements of horror. It's more like a cartoon.
Yeah,
where like we're just watching a whole bunch of Jerrys and there's an invisible, or a whole bunch of Toms and there's an invisible Jerry.
Wow, you know what?
Yeah,
that's kind of it, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're supposed to like associate that with death and all this stuff, and they try to throw gravitas to it by having Tony Todd talk about it.
I was gonna say, and Tony Todd is in there too. Yeah,
but as I said in that episode, it is just a pumped up X-Files spec script. Like it was a spec script for an X-Files episode that would have been good, I bet. If for an X-Files episode, it would have been fun.
Yeah, if it was 51 minutes long, that'd be okay.
That'd be great.
That movie won me over just because it's just so fucking late 90s. Like
so late 90s.
Our high school era as fuck. So it's like
the fashion's terrible, the music is terrible.
The demon don't want to go by certain. It's It's such a fucking stupid movie. And there's several of those other ones that we've done from that exact same era.
Yeah.
Like fucking Urban Legend that have just been dog shit.
Urban Legend.
Like, I mean, like I said, Final Destination, it won me over for nostalgia purposes. It's still a piece of garbage movie.
Yeah.
But I can still watch it and be like, aw, Frosted Tips.
And
Urban Legend is just dog shit.
Yeah, and I've watched all the sequels of Final Destination. I haven't watched the sequels of Urban Legend.
There's no reason to.
There's no reason to.
Urban Legend is just one of the most sloppily put together, like, reveals at the end of, I guess this person did it. Just because that's who you wouldn't expect. There's no logic to it.
It's one of those writing exercises where it's like, okay, write the first chapter, then write a surprise reveal for later, and then work to that point.
Ugh.
And it's, as an exercise, that works. As a final product, usually very fucking terrible. Because it's not... This is a 90s thing, though, was trying to make things too complicated. Trying to make sure nobody could possibly guess who the killer is.
Right.
And then after a while, it's like, well, nobody's guessing that because it makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like they were trying to recreate a lot of Giallo feel, black glove killer at a school or a university or something like that. I mean, that's how many Argento movies, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's already we've already watched 20 years of Giallo up to this point. We don't need this movie.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's imagine doing that, but removing all the style.
Yeah, take all the
the visual appeal,
bright colors, and the combination of music and
great gore.
Yeah,
let's just take all that out. That should be better.
And make it so that Rebecca Gayheart can carry Josh, what's his name, upstairs somehow.
Well, dude, doesn't she fucking... She drags Freddy Krueger's corpse around, too.
Yeah, she drags Robert Englund around.
They drug Robert Englund into this. Yeah. Again, tying in another theme of just grabbing horror elite into your
that's
shitty
definitely
90s movie.
One of the worst fucking things to do for your movie. Don't grab horror elites because you think it makes your movie good. Have a good movie and get good actors and they'll become horror elites. That's what fucking happened with Robert Englund in the first place.
That's true. That's true.
Wes Craven made a movie... And guess who's not in that movie? Anybody who'd been in a horror movie up to that point. Wes Craven wasn't like, go out and get me, what's his name? Vincent Price.
That guy.
Yeah. I couldn't think of Vincent Price. In my head, I was hearing him say my name.
Yeah.
Vincent Price. It's me, Vincent Price.
He
says. It's me, I'm Vincent Price.
I don't think
that's how Vincent Price sounds. But so a good horror movie doesn't have to fall back on.
Remember that guy?
Remember this person?
Yeah. Well, but then, like, every now and then you have something like Cabin in the Woods that just spits in the face of that, where Sigourney Weaver shows up at the end and you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, because it's so mysterious.
Yeah. Well, the movie's already won you over by that point, too.
Yeah, it's already won you over, and it's so mysterious, and when she shows up, she doesn't come in and explain everything.
No.
She gives us a little bit of explanation, but it's still just like, wait, what the fuck is going on? So you don't have any time to be amazed by the fact Sigourney Weaver's there, because you're still like, what the hell is happening in this movie?
Right.
Yeah.
What about one more from that era? What do you know about I Know What You Did Last Summer? That's a big pile of fucking horse shit, isn't it?
What are you waiting for, huh? Boobs.
Yeah, she just like boobs out that shot.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Old Jennifer Love Hewitt just owning that movie.
Yeah. For sure. With her boobs.
Bad.
That was it. Like,
that's what that movie's about.
It is. That movie is about Jennifer Love Hewitt's boobs. It's like, remember, she was in Party of Five, but she was young then. Look, now she's got boobs.
That's the movie.
That's the movie.
And that's the movie.
Also, you're Sarah Michelle Gellar. She'll be Buffy in a couple of years, and we'll all love her. Yeah. But in this movie, it's like, I don't give a shit about any of these people.
It's terrible.
You never really get into any of the characters. It does have that whodunit again feel. Like, I don't like that anymore. I think Giallo did enough whodunit for us to ever have to see a whodunit again.
Totally, man.
It's like there's so many out there, and the only thing they have to rely on is you couldn't guess who did it, and it's like, well, that's more frustrating than fun.
That's just, a lot of times that's deceptive narration.
Yeah.
Than anything.
Yeah, like, you didn't give me that information. Why?
Yeah, joke's on you, fucker. Yeah. I didn't show you who
you could have told me a story or made me feel like an asshole. You made me feel like an asshole. Thanks.
There's so many like from that 10-year period that we just absolutely fucking hate. Dude. Yeah, Deep Blue Sea is another one. Jesus. Let's do a creature feature.
Yeah, creature feature. Okay.
Deep Blue Sea versus Anaconda. Which one do you hate more? I think I hate Anaconda more.
Do you?
I think I do.
I was gonna say Deep Blue Sea. Okay, so yeah, that's good. 'Cause
I feel like Deep Blue Sea is more pathetically bad that you can sit there and watch it and make fun of it, whereas Anaconda is just a nothing movie. There's just nothing to it.
They both make no sense.
No.
Like, the central premise of both of them is stupid and just outrageous, ridiculous stupidity.
Yeah.
I think I have more fun with Jon Voight's
baby bird.
A snake who gave birth to Donald Trump impression. Like, whatever it is he's doing there.
Okay,
it's so funny.
I will say Jon Voight's character in Anaconda is better than any character in Deep Blue Sea, including LL Cool J's character that is actually, I think, 3 different characters that got distilled into one.
Yeah.
Of this preacher guy who's also a cook, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Jon Voight is
so many of
better.
his scenes are just him by himself, meaning they were reshoots for sure.
Absolutely so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But yeah, it's LL Cool J versus Ice Cube in Anaconda.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, I guess LL Cool J is more charming.
Absolutely,
in Deep Blue Sea. Ice Cube's still charming in Anaconda, but he doesn't have anything to do except make references to his raps. Like, that's about it.
Ladies Love Cool James has a little bit more to do. In the movie.
And he's got that bird to talk to.
He's got that bird to talk to, and his omelet secrets.
Yeah, 3 eggs only. Right?
Start off with that. So terrible, man. What about one from recent history here? What about if we talked about maybe a Veronica?
Okay,
we hated that fucking movie.
Yeah, absolutely hated that movie. I don't think I would have hated it if it weren't for the Netflix bullshit attempt at whatever guerrilla marketing they were trying to do. It was
just fake news marketing.
Yeah,
dude.
they were just making shit up.
Yeah,
just saying like people can't watch this movie, and
12 people died today watching this movie.
And go back if you want, like, if you're like, no, they didn't do that, go back and listen to Veronica. I made a very impassioned case by doing extreme research on what the fuck they were talking about, and they had nothing to build off of. It was a post on 9gag and one guy's tweet. That is not people.
It. Yeah, exactly. That's 2 persons on the internet.
And a post on 9gag doesn't count for any fucking thing.
Fuck no. Well, and that's the thing is, like, ultimately, even that post on 9gag could have been somebody that worked on the damn set of the movie, on the marketing team at Netflix. It was all just horse shit.
The tweet they were really basing everything on was one individual guy who I guess was legit scared by Veronica. I don't know if he watches horror movies.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is like, but you don't know anything about him. Like, I could show my mom Veronica, and she would probably be terrified of it, because my mom has never seen any scary movie.
Yeah, it would terrify the shit out of her, especially when that girl opens her mouth as wide as the goddamn world.
And then when the dad just wants to make his paella.
Oh, he loves that paella.
I was scared by how he's not going to get
with his
to make
arm
that
around
anymore.
his paella.
I know, man. That was the scariest part of the movie for me. I'm like, but Dad's paella.
I really do think, though, if I had found Veronica on Netflix, like I've done with a ton of other Netflix horror movies, where it's just like, I'll watch this.
Oh, I'd be like, that was decent.
Yeah. I would have watched the entire movie. It wouldn't have been one of those I turned off early. And I would have been like, fine.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, there's been other, like, flicks that I've found on Netflix that same way. Like, the first time I watched Baskin.
Yeah, which we did in, like, 2 years ago. Yeah.
Like, I watched that with no pretense, no trailer,
and it's just like, what the fuck? Yeah.
But you're right. The expectation for Veronica and just all the lies and the marketing is really what spoiled it.
I don't like people trying to manipulate me.
No.
Yeah. Exactly. Especially when they're doing it terribly.
Yeah. Like,
I was gonna flatter the shit out of me. All right. Don't tell me this is gonna be the scariest shit in the world. That's what I built my life on, is the scariest shit in the world. That's gonna irritate everybody who loves horror. Everybody who loves horror, like, as far as I've seen, everybody who loves horror has this familial connection to the movies. Yeah. Where it's like, if you diss somebody's favorite horror movie, like, they legit will get mad. They'll get angry because they know it backwards and forwards. Like, they've dug into it and they really love it. And they could probably make an argument that would sway your opinion. Like, yeah maybe that isn't so bad. So like horror folks don't like to be fucking tricked.
Well, and that's the thing about it too. That's what I was thinking about as you're talking. Is the fact is whenever you are going after such a niche group as horror fans, where we're not 9 out of 10 people, or 1 out of 10 people, but that one person is super diehard and fanatical about it. And I think it just kind of shows how stupid the people at Netflix and all these other companies think horror fans must be.
Yes.
Because the thing is when you advertise your movie as it's so scary, people are passing out and throwing up, and people aren't finishing it, yada yada. Yeah. The only people that you're going to attract are hardcore horror fans.
Yeah, they're the ones who want that.
Yeah, exactly. Like the people that are just like, yeah, I like to watch one every now and then. They're going to hear that and be like, well, I'm not watching that. That sounds fucking terrifying. So you're only attracting the most extreme horror fans, and we're the ones that can see through that bullshit.
They were probably trying to set up some sort of YouTube, can you watch Veronica sort of thing. But why wouldn't they have picked a movie that would have scared people?
Yeah. That would have been a good start, right?
Yeah, start with a movie that would act like... That's not a bad concept for marketing. Pick a movie that really will scare the shit out of people, and then say, this movie's scaring the shit out of people. Can you watch it? And then people watch it and they go, man, that was fucking scary.
Yeah. Well, but then
you've won audiences over. The next time you say this is scary, they're going to listen to you.
Yeah.
It's like A24. When A24 makes a horror movie, you go.
I want to check it out. Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, like Blackcoat's Daughter had zero hype.
Yeah. And that one's amazing. About it,
and that movie's fucking amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, Veronica, just a shitty movie. I've seen worse.
Yeah, for sure.
But the marketing is actually what fucked that movie up. Yeah. Now, I think probably our most hated movie that we've ever done on the show ever.
Got a 0.
Just a flat out fucking 0.
Yeah.
It goes beyond the fact that we just don't like the movie. It's the fact that by watching this movie and then Hollywood allowing them to make sequels and allowing Victor Salva to keep working is just saying we're okay with pedophilia.
Yeah, pedophilia is fine.
Jeepers Creepers is a big piece of shit movie. Victor Salva can go fuck himself and fucking die in a fire because he is a pedophile.
A pedophile. Convicted pedophile who fucked a 6-year-old for 6 years until he was 12.
Then that was too old.
And at the time, Victor Salva was 6'3", 300 pounds.
And then Hollywood was like,
that in mind.
I guess we'll keep letting this guy make movies.
Yep.
And dude,
not just Hollywood, not just like some crazy weirdos in Hollywood. Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, Francis Ford
keeps
Coppola
holding this guy's career up.
And I don't even fucking understand it because it's not even, this is fucked up to say, it's not even like Roman Polanski, who has done some really fucked up stuff where it's like, yeah, but he makes phenomenal fucking movies. Rosemary's Baby's amazing.
Right. Jeepers Creepers is not a phenomenal fucking movie. Yeah.
So this guy makes shit movies and he's a fucking pederast.
Yeah.
Why do they keep letting him work? That episode, we were both just infuriated.
Yeah, he's got something on somebody is why.
That's absolutely all there is to it.
Because there's so many goddamn pedophiles in Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got enough on somebody that they're going to keep getting him enough money to make movies.
Oh, yeah,
now, he did have to, after the first one came out, and I mean, when Powder came out, which was a few years before Jeepers Creepers, there was a big backlash because he had recently gotten out of jail. Powder was co-produced by Disney. People were fucking angry.
Ugh.
And then...
Well, Disney and apparently pedophilia have some truck going on, apparently.
They do.
Yikes.
He makes Jeepers Creepers, and it all comes back to the surface again, because this is pre-internet era. Like, or at least not everybody was on the internet. Things start surfacing again, because again, most people don't pay attention to who the director of a movie is or whatever.
Yeah, they care about the stars and shit.
So they had to go as far as when they made the sequel, they couldn't do it in America, because American audiences weren't, they knew too much, basically. So they had to do it in Germany. So, like, they know. They're working so hard to make his movies. They know that they're going out of their way to do it.
Yeah.
There's no way that they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. That's not how Hollywood works.
No, they're not out to rehabilitate him and make him a part of the workforce again. No. They just don't give a shit.
You just do not care. Because as we said in the first movie seems to be very clearly a pedophile showing his victim, I win in the end.
Oh, yeah. And, I got away with it, nanner.
And
absolutely.
The second one starts with the creeper killing a young boy.
Yikes.
Meaning there was a young boy on set with Victor Salva.
Yeah, exactly.
He was 12 or 13-ish. and he gets killed by a creeper.
Yeah, this is all
the
just...
name of him is the Creeper,
it's
which
just
is
an allegory for...
It's all an allegory for child molestation.
Yeah, and how he can fucking get away with it and keep working, you know? We found all this stuff out after we decided to do the movie.
Yeah, I would have never done that movie, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I don't ever want to do Jeepers Creepers 2 or 3 on the show, just because I don't want to, even a cent of my money to go towards that piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't want to encourage our audience to watch it. I don't want them to get that number.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like not only is it my money going towards that piece of shit.
Yeah, it's all the people who listen to. Not everybody watches the movie, I imagine, but a large portion of people watch the movie. So.
Yeah, so no, we won't be doing those because fuck that guy.
Yeah,
and fuck those movies.
Yeah, fuck that.
So those I think are some of the worst ones that we've ever done here on the show, and those are some big piles of shit. But I'll tell you what, man,
this one's a big steaming pile.
I would watch, honestly, minus Jeepers Creepers because of what we just talked about. I think I would watch any of these again before I watched Twilight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're all better than that.
Oh yeah, I've actually watched Final Destination since then.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like I would watch any of these before I watch Twilight again.
That's not even a contest because this is not fun.
It's not fun whatsoever.
It's not even fun to make fun of it because you just end up frustrated.
Yeah,
that's how I like.
That was my experience too. Like honestly, leading up to this, and I'll talk about some of the research I did leading up to this in a second. But after doing the research that I was doing, I was actually like stoked to watch this. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so bad.
Yeah, we're gonna find some cool shit to talk about.
Yeah, and it'll just be like funny bad. But instead, what ends up happening is you end up watching this movie and just getting fucking mad. Like it just made me angry. It made me angry that apparently millions and millions of people out there are so dumb that they think this is fantastic. It made me mad that people, greenlit all of this stuff.
Did you look at the reviews for this?
No.
That'll anger you. They're not as bad as they should be.
Come on.
They're not even close to as bad as they should be.
No, man. Yeah. No. It really did just infuriate me watching this movie. I watched it. Okay, let's go way back. What is your first experiences and encounters with the world of Stephenie Meyer's Twilight?
Okay, so I started dating my wife in 2008, I believe.
Okay.
So then, around the time Emily and I started actually, it would have been when we were like just talking. I remember her talking about the Twilight books.
Now this is when you guys were both dyed-in-the-wool.
Yeah, we were
Mormons.
Mormon. Yeah, we were Mormon as shit. She had just gotten back from her mission. A little.
Where was her mission at?
Fresno.
SeaWorld.
Fresno, California.
Mission SeaWorld.
SeaWorld. That would be awesome.
I was always saying, I was like,
Mission SeaWorld needs to be a movie.
Probably.
I don't even know what it would be, but it sounds awesome. But second off, yeah.
I remember one of the first times that we met, I was like, you just got back from your mission in fucking Russia, and I was like, I don't know, man, I think you probably should have gone to like SeaWorld or Cedar Point, walk around these places and be like, hey, have you heard the word? It seems like that'd be more fun.
It really does, doesn't it? But you'd be surprised that theme parks don't want missionaries there.
Impossible.
What
are they, spoiling the fun?
Maybe a little bit.
Now let me ask you, did you guys check this out because you had heard about it, because it's like, oh, a Mormon author made a book? Like, that's something that I'm really interested to find out about.
I should ask Emily that, but I imagine that had a lot to do with it, because it was definitely being talked about a lot.
Because see, to me, as a non-Mormon person, like, I found out way later.
Yeah, when the movies were coming out, probably.
Yeah, that the person that wrote it was a Mormon.
No, 2008 was when the movies were coming out, and that's when I heard of it. So it was probably being talked about by a lot of Mormons, probably being talked about by a lot of Mormon women. I'm not saying anything sexist. I'm just saying Mormon women were really
more women
Twilight.
read these books. Yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, had you read the book, or did you just see the movie?
I didn't do either. I didn't see the movie or read the book until, let's see, we covered Dracula my senior year in a 19th century British lit class, and my teacher, Dr. Amy Balone, who is awesome, she showed a part of Twilight as like part of like talking about vampires and stuff, and I remember as it was on going
like, this can't be real.
Yeah,
this is not a real movie.
It was the part where he stops the van.
Oh my god, dude.
And then she's like, whoa. Like, I just laughed out loud immediately, but then looked around and everybody was looking at me like I'm an asshole.
Yeah, because they like already seen it and loved it and so on. Probably.
So again, these are college students in a 400 level English class. So, like, I don't know what the audience for this is, but it's big.
Apparently.
It's big.
Apparently, it's very fucking gigantic. Because whenever these things came out, I just remember hearing from, you know, like every fucking news source and magazine and all that stuff about how huge these books were.
Yeah, it was like the new Harry Potter.
It was like Harry Potter stuff all over again, where it was just like suddenly this shit is everywhere.
Yeah.
And I completely avoided all this stuff like the plague because I just remember hearing...
it didn't seem like my thing at all.
Yeah, it seemed like fucking just teenage romance bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I had people that I knew that had read them, you know, tell me stuff about them, or they'd seen the movies and be like, oh yeah, there's this part where blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, this all sounds completely like something I would fucking hate.
Yeah.
And I talked a lot of shit about them. One time while we were standing in line at Walmart, like, there was, like, the paperback, you know?
Uh-huh.
And Kate pulls it off the rack while we were waiting in line and reads, like, the first page or two.
Uh-huh.
I just kind of looked over her shoulder a little bit. And it was just fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, this is written by, like, a child. Like, clearly a fucking 12-year-old wrote this book.
Yeah.
It's absolute garbage. So Kate and I completely avoided them like the plague. And then several years ago, for whatever reason, we were just like, you know what? If we're going to talk so much shit about this stuff, we at least need to have been,
I agree with that standpoint, by the way.
Yeah.
I think you cannot talk shit if you have not experienced something. So if somebody says they like a band and you've just heard that other people don't like it and you join in on that, that's
well, you've
bullshit.
not listened to them. Yeah,
yeah, you don't know.
You got to give it a chance.
You might love it.
We decided that we were going to watch these fucking movies. And so what we did is we went to the video store in Food City. This is when the grocery store still had a video store in it.
Oh, wow.
I know, I miss it.
Mm-hmm.
The best
Video
times.
stores were great.
Yeah, totally. Until those late fees piled up. And then the fact is you had to leave the house to get a movie.
Yeah, and now you can just watch it without ever leaving the house.
Yeah.
You'd watch thousands upon thousands upon thousands.
I don't think I miss video stores.
I miss
Maybe
them
not.
only in the nostalgic sense of walking around and looking at all the movies, but it would be because I now have option paralysis when it comes to streaming shit.
Yeah,
because there's so many options. I can't imagine a video store is any easier.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's some of those massive like blockbusters and stuff.
Yeah.
That had, I mean, thousands of titles in them.
Yeah. Like, do you want to see everything? Here it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So we went and we rented them. I think this is after all the this is after all the movies had come out on video.
Okay.
So we rented all, what is it, 4 of them? There's 4 movies?
Yes. Yeah.
Rented all 4 of them. We decided we'd space it out. Watch 2 one night, watch 2 the other night. This first night that we were watching them, we decided to make our experience a little bit more intense and enjoyable.
Okay.
By consuming some magic brownies a friend of ours had made. Now, this friend of ours had made these, and we were like, man, I don't know if he knows what he's doing with these things. Maybe he didn't make them right. The classic
Everyone's
magic brownie
experience
story.
with edibles, yeah.
Yes, absolutely so. So what we do is we'd had, I don't know, fajitas or whatever that night, and we start these movies, and it's like, yo, let's rock these brownies out. We had 2 brownies, 1 for each of us.
Mm-hmm.
We ate half.
Okay.
Yeah. And
already,
then, again, this is
probably
everybody's
too much
story.
to start out
exactly.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, at this time too, it's like I was not practiced in the ways
of the edibles
of any of it.
Of any of it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this was still when this is all very new to me.
Oh, so you're in for a ride. Okay.
Dude, we ate like half. And then, we waited like 30 or 40 minutes into sitting through this movie, and we're both like, are you feeling anything? No, I'm not feeling nothing. I think our friend didn't make these right. Let's just go ahead and rock the rest of them.
Everybody's thought their friend didn't make these right.
Oh, my God, dude. Oh,
and every friend has
God.
thought, I didn't make these right.
Yeah. And then
I did.
Yeah. So we ate the rest of them, and then, dude, the rest of the movie, and honestly, the entire second movie, I don't remember whatsoever. But I remember about halfway through this first movie, it wasn't in English anymore. Like, I remember watching this movie and just being...
gibberish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I was so fucked up.
What if one of
it
you
didn't
had
make
rolled
sense.
over and turned it on the Spanish?
That's what
you
I
had
was
no
wondering,
idea.
dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like if, one of the dogs, like, put its paw on the remote and it's like, yeah, it suddenly put it in Spanish or whatever. It's like, I wouldn't have known any different. I just remember from the first time that I watched this movie, there was so much staring, so much not talking, so many sighs and mouth noises, and then a lot of it just wasn't in English. That was my first experience with that, and I haven't seen the movie again since then. Until now.
I know they go to Italy at some point. Is that? They? I don't think that happens in the second one, though. I think that's in the third or fourth.
I have no memory of the other movies at all. Like, at all.
Well, I've never seen any of the other ones. I had planned to watch all of them for this episode. Jesus. And I was like, I'm going to watch all of Twilight in one sitting. Couldn't do it. And then I realized I am not watching the sequels because I can't get through this in one sitting.
You texted me whenever you were watching the first one and said that you like rage quit.
I did
30 minutes before the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I was just like, nope, can't even finish it.
I cannot deal with this anymore. It had been constant because Emily's office is like back and to the left or right of mine, whatever. So it would just be this constant, me sitting down, then she'd hear me hit the space button,
go,
walk out, and just be like, so... yeah, like, and she... Because I was just keep going to her because she knew the books better.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, yeah, it's this and this and this. And I'd be like, but that's stupid!
But that's
she'd be
fucking
like...
horrible.
Yeah.
But that's how it is.
That's how it is.
Were you getting fucked up when you watched it the other night?
Yes, and that's the thing.
You have to.
Okay, because like we've done movies in the past where the first time I watch it, I'm like, well, I'm just gonna have some drinks while I watch it, and by the end, I'm a little too drunk to remember the ending, but it's like whatever. This one, I ended up drinking more because I was so angry at the movie.
I did the exact same thing.
Slamming them back,
throwing stuff in my face.
Yeah. So after an hour and 30 minutes, it was just like, I don't have the self-control.
Yeah. If this movie keeps going, I'm going to die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. I felt like Edward that first time he and Bella kissed.
Oh, my fucking God.
I got myself a real danger bone.
I got that danger bone going on. I'm about to lose control. Dude, I was also getting pretty fucked up whenever I watched this, too.
Yeah.
Way beyond what I needed to. I'm a little hungover today, frankly.
I gotcha. Okay.
From watching this movie, because it's just that goddamn bad. It's just that fucking bad,
that
man.
Blueberry with the sour goes really good together.
I know, right? I've been kind of like ignoring mine for a second, but like the aftertaste and stuff is so good.
It is really good.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you this, Steve, to get ready for this movie and for this review, our last of our No Vampire 2019 series. This is our finale, right?
Yeah.
Boy, what a fucking way to cap this thing off.
Yeah.
Kate and I actually got the Audible audiobook of Twilight, and I started it, about 2 weeks ago, something like that, and have just cruised through it just so I would know.
Yeah.
Just so I would know.
I said in the past, I read the book in a graduate course in young adult literature.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Same doctor, Dr. Amy Balone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's great.
So, how did you feel about the book, Steve?
Terrible. It's terrible. But
it's dog shit.
I mean, it wasn't like a surprise in a room full of English lit majors that we all thought it was terrible.
Well, dude, the book is so terrible.
It's boring.
It is terrible.
Yeah. I skimmed through it. Because I barely ever did that with books, even in grad school, but it after a few chapters was just like, what the fuck? This is terrible.
I was 3/4 of the way through the audiobook of this. You know, I'm reading it every time I'm in a car or walking the dog or whatever.
Yeah.
I am like 3/4 of the way through this fucking book, and I'm like, nothing has happened yet. Nothing has happened. There is just so much dialogue and just people standing around talking to each other.
Yeah.
And that's it. There's nothing. And it was gigantic.
It's huge. It's huge.
I don't understand. Because seriously, dude, like I don't know how any publishing agent or anybody read this and was like, this is gonna be a hit.
I've done some research. I might be able to shed some light, but I will tell you in the end, after all my research on Stephenie Meyer and the development of this novel, I do not understand what happened at all. Well, I don't get the leap that the publisher took.
Yeah.
I don't get the leap that the production companies took. I don't get why everybody was like, this is going to be the next big thing.
I don't get it, man. I will say the best thing that I took from the book is that it gave Kate and I a couple weeks of a good fucking hate talk conversation, because she was reading through it at the same time too.
That is one of, like, then I guess maybe it's just because you and Kate and me and Emily don't have kids, but isn't it some of the most fun to talk about shit you hate, or to just have a rage conversation where you're both like, because I bet you can't have that when you have kids. You can't just have these conversations.
Fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're like, well, I got to raise these kids to not hate everything. But like, we can just sit around and be like, you know what I've decided? Tonight's going to be a 3-hour conversation about how stupid this is.
Exactly right. Yeah, for real, man.
A back and forth of like, this is dumb. I hate that. It's so much fun.
When you're in your 30s and you're not raising other people, you just learn to hate everything.
That's it. You just learn to hate everything.
and you share your hate with the one you love. That should be like a Dead and Lovely bumper sticker. Share your hate with the one you love. Trademark Dead and Lovely.
Yeah, that's great.
Dude, it was fun going through it, and you know, we would be like, yo, have you gotten to this part yet? Dude, no, they just did this. Oh my god, I fucking hate that shit. It's so bad, dude, and the writing in it is abominable. I mean, just beyond the fact that there is nothing to this fucking stupid ass story.
Yeah.
The writing is fucking horrible. Dude, like, even I'm talking about like within the last fucking 10 or 15 pages of this goddamn stupid book, she cannot just quit talking for 1 second about how fucking hot this guy is. Like, every time she mentions anything about Edward,
it's about how hot he is. Oh my god, dude, let's talk about the hotness.
He reached for the radio dial with his perfect hand. Smoldering like. I mean, like, every fucking sentence is like his toe hair was like an angel's. Like, everything. Yeah. She cannot write one fucking sentence about this guy without talking about how hot he is. And it's like, I fucking get it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's where I'm going to step in and talk about Stephenie Meyer.
Get in here. Tell me about Stephenie Meyer.
I'm going to set out immediately with, I am not going to set out to bash Stephenie Meyer.
Punch up.
You punch up, and here's why this is punching down.
Hang on. Before you get into this, I'm gonna need to get a pull.
Okay, let's get a pull.
You know, I just finished off this fantastic blueberry device. Yeah. It was amazing. And now I think I need to load myself down with something a little bit more heavy duty. This is an 8.9%er that we're going to split here. This is from the Hutton and Smith Brewing Company.
I've had a couple of theirs.
They make some good stuff.
Yeah, they do.
This is their, how do you say that word?
Bivouac.
Bivouac.
It's like a tent, I believe.
It's like a tent.
Yeah.
Black IPA. This balances resin, pine, orange, and grapefruit hop character with coffee and roasted notes. I have a feeling this is either going to be transcendent and amazing or disgusting.
Yeah, well, that's why when you pulled it out, I immediately was like, oh yeah, we got to do that on the show. It's high in alcohol.
Yeah.
It's got coffee, but it also has grapefruit.
Here's the thing, is like, okay.
And we've talked about the coffee grapefruit drink before.
Thing, dude.
That Lindsay had.
The Pomona Spritz or whatever. Paloma Spritz. That's what it was seriously like throwing up in my mouth. It was awful. It was like somebody else throwing up in my mouth. It was that bad.
If it's just the grapefruit notes that you get from some hops, maybe that might work be different with the bitterness of the coffee.
Well, I'll confess too. I'm Dave Grohl. I've got another confession to make. Whenever I bought this, the price tag on it covered up the thing that said coffee. Like the price tag was right over where it said coffee. So I just read this as balances resin, pine, and roasted notes. I was like, cool. I didn't see the coffee thing on there.
I'm excited.
This might be wretched, but we're going to find out. What's
it doesn't smell like what you think it's going to smell like.
Yeah? No, it does not.
No.
Honestly, it kind of smells like a regular double IPA.
Yeah, because it is black. It is absolutely black.
It looks like a porter.
In color. Yeah. But
I don't think I've ever had a black IPA. I'm not sure
I certainly have not.
We've had like a blonde stout on the show. That was cool.
That was good.
It's kind of the opposite of that.
Let's see.
You go in there. Be a brave explorer. And see what you think about that thing. What's that do for you? Any good? You seem intrigued.
Yeah. That's interesting. I'm not saying, it's good. I'm saying, it's interesting.
I'm with you there.
It's interesting.
Huh.
Oh. There's flavors that keep coming out as I'm talking.
I know. Yeah,
like
totally.
Suddenly there was like a tobacco, like pipe tobacco sort of flavor.
And especially on the aftertaste and stuff.
Yeah.
But up front, it was more of a sweet double IPA kind of thing.
I thought, as I was drinking, I was like, oh, they just dyed black on IPA. But then as it sits, it's like there's so much flavor going on there.
And now the aftertaste tastes like really good cold brew or something.
Yeah.
You know?
That's interesting.
That's strange.
Yeah, it's very strange.
I don't think I hate it at all.
No, I
honestly.
definitely don't hate it. The grapefruit is there.
I can't imagine pairing that with any food.
I don't know how you would.
No, that is a drink.
This is breakfast, basically. Coffee and grapefruit.
Yeah.
It's a breakfast beer.
It's one of them breakfast beers. Yeah, start your day with a 9%
we've had two
beer.
breakfast beers. We had
That's
a
true.
blueberry muffin, and now we've had
Great way to start the
Bivouac
day.
Black IPA.
I think I'm okay with this. You know, I'll report back momentarily, but so far so good. Okay, so Stephenie
here's
Myers.
why immediately making fun of Stephenie Myers is punching down and not punching up. Because she is rich as shit. For sure.
My God, yes.
But when we're talking about this first novel, we're talking about a woman who was a dyed-in-the-wool Mormon.
Like from birth Mormon.
1,000,000% Mormon. Now, I know you may have listened to the last podcast on the left about Mormonism and think, oh, I know about Mormons. If you don't know Mormons, you don't know about Mormons. You might know like everything wrong with their church, but if you've spent any time with Mormons, you know a couple things. One, they're all happy as shit, and it's crazy.
I was gonna say, yeah, because it would be very easy for this episode to turn into a big Mormon shit talk fest.
But no,
listen,
I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I have tons of Mormon friends.
Yeah, like we don't believe in what they do, and I think the whole history of the church is very silly and easy to see through. But I will say, I've met so many really fantastic, extremely
great and
sweet
wonderful, sweet Mormon people.
I can't tell you one negative experience I've had.
I can, but that's because I've had so many experiences.
You've been around a lot more than me.
Yeah.
It's like when I met you, you were a Mormon.
Yeah.
Our friend Holly Ford.
Our friend Holly.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wendy Anderson.
Her sister,
super
her brother.
sweet.
Yeah. Wendy.
Yeah, of course. The extended
Becky,
Ford family.
my best man at my wedding. Yeah. All those people.
Brian.
Flying Brian was Mormon. Now, a lot of those people are no longer Mormon.
Yes.
But some of them still are.
But when I met them, they were nothing but nice to me in my extremely heathenous, blasphemous ways.
Mm-hmm.
None of them ever tried to fucking get in my face and tell me that I was fucking my life up.
Exactly.
Not like fucking Baptists and stuff that I've met that are telling you you're burning in hell. I've never had a Mormon tell me you're gonna burn in hell.
No, because Mormons don't believe in hell. They don't believe in it. Yeah.
But they've all been very beautiful. Nice to me. Yeah, that's one of the better things about the religion. So Mormons, they've been nothing but nice to me. I just don't believe in that stuff.
I also would say Mormons have been nothing but nice to me, and I've dealt with thousands and thousands of them.
Even after you've left, they've been cool?
Oh, yeah. No, of course they are. They want you to come back. They don't want you to feel bad for leaving.
Well,
they want you to come back because they do entirely believe what they say. And they do what they say a lot of the time. Now, a lot of shit has come out of the Mormon church since the Prop 8 thing that makes it very clear that the leaders of the church are covering up a lot of shit.
Clearly.
But again, if you spend time with Mormons, they're happy. And they enjoy their life. They enjoy their existence. That's great.
Yeah.
She claims Mormonism as her number one influence in writing.
That is something.
Yeah, so I'm not going out of my way to make any of these connections. I'm just telling you about Mormonism. Yeah. They're very on the surface because they are so immersed in only Mormon shit.
It's an echo chamber out there.
It's an echo chamber. The experience of dealing with these 18-year-old missionaries, they used to have to be 19, now they can be 18. But these 18-year-old...
barely legal.
Barely legal. These 18-year-old missionaries showing up to your door and saying, everything you think about the world is wrong. We know better. And that's not how you approach people.
Yeah, but when you grow up where everybody is drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak.
And where that is the mindset is just that, oh my gosh, wait a second, you don't immediately accept the gospel of Jesus Christ? Brother, my heart breaks for you. Like, these kids are coming from an experience where they've never dealt with the real world. And so when they sit down to create for the world. I mean, there aren't a ton of Mormon artists, writers, etc. There's like Orson Scott Card, who wrote Ender's Game and stuff like that.
That guy's a Mormon?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's super Mormon.
Oh.
So when you have that, where there's just very few outlets for creativity, and creativity as an art form isn't encouraged, like in a lot of Jewish communities, like creativity or entertainment, that's like entertaining other people is a mitzvah. If your child wants to go into entertainment, it's like, oh, wonderful, of course, you're doing God's work because you're making people happy or making people feel. Whereas in a Mormon standpoint, it's going to be like, well, you're glorifying Christ, right? So you then look in this book, and it is this constant reference back to Mormon theology and doctrine, because it's this attempt to combine a smutty love story with Mormon values.
Okay, so like, I was wanting some clarification on some of this stuff, because having never been a Mormon before in my life, like there's a lot of things that I'm sure snuck by me that I didn't really pick up on. Yeah. What are some of the like tenets that you're talking about?
Yeah, okay, so let's just talk about real quick for, say, teenagers. Teenagers aren't supposed to go on individual dates until they're 16.
Okay, and there's even some sects of Christianity that keep
that's pretty common.
That courtship.
And I'll be honest with you, that's not a terrible idea. Like you shouldn't be serious about dating in your teen years, but you also shouldn't be too serious about dating in your 20s, which is where everything changes in the Mormon church. Because starting at 14, they're being told to be looking out for certain traits for future mates.
Okay.
Future wives or husbands.
All right.
So we're telling teenagers already, like, you need to be preparing for marriage now.
As a 14-year-old.
As a 14-year-old.
I was really concerned about Spider-Man and his clone crisis when I was 14.
We all know very well what dress codes are about, and that is about controlling women's bodies.
Sure.
Well, in the Mormon church, they're very, very strict about not showing off your shoulders, your shorts being long enough. But guess what? This'll really make all the feminists like us happy. They also expect men to keep those same standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Now, yes, when a man
no tank tops for the dudes.
Right. But yes, when a man goes swimming, he can wear swim shorts and no shirt. That's fine. But in average everyday life, you have to have on clothing that covers up your garments. Garments are something you get after you go to the temple.
Yeah, for your ritual and stuff.
Yeah, you go through this ritual where you make a bunch of covenants, and then you wear these garments as a reminder of those covenants. Now, a lot of people oftentimes will, but I'm not saying that Mormons don't do this. This is coming from Mormons. But a lot of people oftentimes will like tout the protective qualities of garments.
Yeah, knives can't pierce them. Blah,
right,
blah,
yeah. Though there's no doctrinal reasoning behind that. That's just like with any church, crazy myths and legends grow up.
Sure.
Yeah. So you have to wear these garments after the temple, and you cannot they can't be showing. Now for guys, they go down to like t-shirt length.
Oh,
so
wow.
You're not going to be walking around in tank tops.
So you can't even like be like a greaser and tight roll your cigs into your sleeve.
Nope, you can't. That would be, I mean, the cigs would already be the problem. So
no Mormon greasers?
Yeah.
What? So I'm a Mormon greaser.
There's this teaching of modesty, and I don't know how to impress this on everyone's brain. There's this teaching of abstinence that is not like what you might remember if you're from the South and you went to a Baptist church. You know how they taught abstinence, and you know how you all fucked all the time.
Yeah.
And what they taught in the abstinence was basically like, yeah, but like, don't know nobody do it. And the Mormons do it. They don't fuck.
Yeah, they walk the walk and talk the talk.
They really walk the walk and talk the talk. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, I mean, dude, like even whenever I met you, I mean,
yeah, I didn't drink,
and you were a Mormon. It's like, you
didn't cuss.
You used to drink. You used to drink coffee and stuff like that. But it's like whenever I met you, you fucking walked the walk. Yeah. Like that's honestly one of the best like first impressions I've got of a religion ever.
Yeah,
is like meeting you and being like, oh, actually, this guy really doesn't cuss and he doesn't drink, tea and coffee, and he doesn't
Yeah.
drink at all, even though he used to.
Well, that was what impressed me the most about Mormon.
Like, yeah, they're serious about it. I mean,
yeah,
that was the thing not like...
Yeah, it was a problem I always had with religions. They're not serious.
They're not serious. Yeah, it's like if you're Catholic, you can do whatever and then go to confession.
Yeah. Yep.
What the fuck ever.
Mm-hmm.
If you're, like a lot of the Baptists and stuff like that around here in the
you
South,
do whatever, but you're saved.
Yeah, exactly. So, you're fine.
And being saved, in case you're not from the South, is walking up in front of a group when they ask if anyone wants to get saved.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, me.
Yep. And they think doctrinally that means A-okay, rest of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's one of the things about Mormonism that did actually impress me is like, wow, they actually are serious about it. I wonder what it is about their theology or their programming that actually
you can't get baptized unless you're living the gospel for a period of time. Like, you have to have proven that you actually want to be a member of the church.
Do you have to get that T.I. Hyman check?
No. I should tell everybody this. I served in what was basically a bishopric on my mission and served in what was basically a stake presidency on my mission. Bishoprics and stake presidencies are like the higher level local leadership for Mormons.
Okay.
I've read both volumes of the Handbook of Instructions. I know every single thing that the church doesn't say out loud to its leaders, even at leadership conferences. I know those things. I'll tell you this, that bishopric interview is a breeding ground for pedophiles and sexual assaulters.
Oh, shit.
It definitely is.
How you mean?
You get people in a position where they feel entirely vulnerable and they feel they have to be absolutely truthful with you, and then you ask them about intimate details of their experience,
like their sex lives and stuff.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Now, confession is not a thing that seems to go very far outside of Catholicism, but it is a thing in Mormonism. If you say, for instance, break the word of wisdom or the law of word of wisdom is the caffeine thing, but it's actually not about caffeine. And I don't want to go into that because it's so goddamn stupid. But yeah, you break, say, the word of wisdom or the law of chastity or something like that. The law of chastity is no sex or no masturbating as well, or looking at porn, or even really thinking about
did you not jerk off when you were Mormon?
No.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
I'll tell you this right now. I jerk off several times a day, every single day.
Yeah, but like for a dude in their fucking early 20s? It's impossible.
I don't know if I've told this on the podcast before. I would have a lot of like wet dreams.
Yeah, your body's got to get it out, of course.
I would ejaculate during the day, just out of nowhere. I told my counselor about this at UT, and she was like, "I've never heard of that. That doesn't happen." And it's like, well, it does, because it happens to me pretty regularly because I don't masturbate. So anyway, that was the worst.
Whoa.
That was the fucking worst.
I had no idea.
It was
so
it's so stupid. By the way,
again, this is so not even remotely related to Twilight, but it's like
it is. This is a more interesting part. Yeah,
yeah, it's more interesting. Yeah. Twilight. Like whenever something like that happens, and you have a wet dream or just accidentally get off or whatever, is that a sin like masturbating would be?
No, but again, as you said, I walked the walk. I went to my mission president when the first time it happened because I was on a bus. I was just on a bus, just sitting, and suddenly ejaculated. And it was embarrassing as shit.
Jizz in my pants.
Luckily, it was winter, so like my coat was covering up my crotch. But I told him about it, and he was like, "You can't do anything about that. Like, you can't." And that was really that was cool of him to not like make it a guilt
shame.
And really, like the confession is not so much about like we'll say this many Hail Marys or whatever. It's like it's. Basically, if there is some discipline to be given, they'll give it. But usually it's like, well, okay, move on.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. This episode is barely about Twilight. It's mostly about Mormonism. Anyway, and the same happens when, say, a 12-year-old boy who's about to be given the priesthood. Now, let me just tell you right now, the priesthood in the Mormon church is given to 12-year-old boys. At that point, when a 12-year-old boy has the priesthood, he has more authority than his mom in the church.
What?
Yep.
I remember being 12. I was a fucking idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm barely less of an idiot now.
So maybe you can see why Bella is so useless. Because that's how women are taught in the Mormon church. That basically...
A 12-year-old boy knows
you're
more
here
than you.
to be admired. You're here to be looked at. You're here to be pursued. You're not here to be a person.
Well, because that is absolutely Bella in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying that that's how Mormon women are.
No,
we both
I know plenty
we
of...
both know Holly, we both know Becky, we both know Wendy.
Yeah,
we know
awesome
tons.
independent women. Yeah.
That is not how it all distills down. But if that's all you deal with, and when virtuousness becomes a competition, like, is your skirt long enough? Is your shirt modest enough? And this isn't the moms, this is the girls to each other, like policing each other's modesty and policing each other's sexuality.
Sounds fun.
Sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's honestly kind of like the opposite of what you see in every like high school teen girl movie.
Exactly. well, there's always the slut shaming in high school teen girl movies, but yeah, it's a real weird setup for her to come from. So what I'm saying is, to immediately make fun of Stephenie Meyer is like making fun of someone who couldn't possibly know better.
Well, I mean, honestly, it's so similar in a lot of ways to what I dealt with growing up in like the very conservative East Tennessee homeschool community of the late 80s, early 90s.
Mormons are big into homeschooling.
Oh, yeah, where it's like when you talk to some of these people and they only know their way of life and the only other people they know share that exact same way of life, and then you criticize them for being closed-minded or oblivious, it's like, well...
They can't be closed-minded. There's nothing for them to be open to.
It's all that's ever been given to them. You know? It's like, I feel bad for them more than anything to be like, you think that your existence is all of reality.
I mean, it is true that the thing that will get you over xenophobia is travel. The thing that will get you over... the cult-like mentality of
any religion
is just experiencing non-religion for a while.
Yeah.
Seeing what it's like. Because when you're a Mormon, you're being told constantly that these people in the world, they think they're having fun drinking and having sex, but really, like, they're dying early of alcohol-related diseases and they're having kids they don't want to have. And it's like, well, one, no. Most people just drink. They don't... I mean, if they die of an alcohol-related disease, it's in a normal age. Most of us aren't alcoholics. We just drink from time to time. And two, most people that have sex don't get pregnant. That's just an absolute fact. And birth control exists.
It does.
Yeah. But all of these things become extremely a big deal. So dating in high school is a gigantic deal. Now, what's interesting about Mormons is what happens is that, say, these two kids will date in high school, and then when the boy's old enough, now 18, was 19 before, he'll go off on a mission, and she'll say, I'll wait for you. And then 3 months later, he'll get a letter saying, I married this returned missionary. You'd love him. Because she wants to fuck.
Yeah, like most humans.
Like every goddamn individual, she has for 6 years of her life been wanting to fuck, and now you're off on your mission, but this guy's back from his mission, and he's got a dick. Now, we might have the most boring sex in the world for the next couple of years, and every time we have sex, I might get pregnant, and we might have 9 kids, and it's going to be a torturous existence. But I gotta have sex. And it wasn't illegal.
Do Mormons do birth control?
Yes.
Okay.
Birth control is acceptable among Mormons doctrinally. Socially, less so.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, though they're more open-minded Mormons for sure. Most people who go to any church are prudes and conservative. That's just true. It's just going to be that way. They're going to be more likely to say you're not doing the right thing.
So whenever I watched this movie and read the book, I was able to pick out the things that are very obviously
biblical,
Judeo-Christian and biblical. Yeah, I mean, just due to the way that I was raised, where it's like, I mean, there's very heavy-handed stuff like Lion and the Lamb.
Yeah, and
there's all these apples everywhere.
In case anyone's listening and don't know, the Mormons use the Old and New Testament as well.
Yeah.
So it's not, they're not reading some weird, crazy book only.
Dianetics or something.
Yeah, they're also reading the Old Testament and New Testament.
Dude, I think...
And they read their scriptures a lot. You're not going to argue a Mormon on scriptures unless you're maybe a Jehovah's Witness or Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah. I think that some brave, adventurous new Mormon prophet come up.
Now, first off, that'll never happen. Brave and adventurous prophet. To become prophet of the Mormon Church, you have to have gone from being the youngest apostle to now being the oldest. And
it's doable.
Well, you're not going to be having fresh ideas in your 70s, usually.
But what if one of those guys came about and wrote Mormonetics? Mormonetics.
You know, there are controversial Mormon books by general authorities. Yeah? There's a book called Mormon Doctrine by Elder Bruce R. McConkie. It's pretty controversial. It's controversial, and I remember in the church it being controversial and me reading it, and he like cited everything. So everything was in line with actual Mormon doctrine. But then when you read it, you're like, well, I don't believe that. I don't believe this. I don't believe that. And why it was so controversial was Mormons had not encountered that doctrine before. They had not realized, like, oh, this is what we believe?
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah.
Wow.
She daisy.
So Stephenie Meyer was a full-blood Mormon, wrote herself this book.
She was a stay-at-home mom with kids already. She had this dream on...
She had a dream.
She had a dream on, I believe it was June 3rd of 2003.
That is very specific.
Yeah, she wrote it down. Mormons do that as well. Really good at family history and keeping diaries. She wrote down this dream, and in the dream she had dreamed that there was this young girl who was in love with this vampire who was in love with her, but he also wanted to drink her blood. Boring dream. She turned that into what became chapter 13 of the book. She wrote that all down, and then she just kept writing.
Which was chapter 13?
Whatever
that is.
Whatever that is. Yeah,
whatever. It's just another part of this fucking book.
And then she wrote that up to the end, but as she was writing up to the end, she realized she kept having to add these prologues to make that make sense.
Well, yeah.
And then that became the book. Now...
Presto.
I don't know what that magic moment was where I know she went to some like writing workshops and stuff or whatever.
But she'd never written before this.
She had never written before this. By April of 2004, she had sold the rights to the book to Paramount. The book didn't get published until 2005.
I don't fucking get this, dude. I don't fucking get this. You hear these stories about, well, like you were saying on the Buffy episode, like Luke Perry went around at like what fucking 400 auditions and got turned down or whatever.
Yeah.
And then every now and then
you hear about this person who just couldn't fail.
Dude, it's the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
Like she wrote her first book and became a goddamn bajillionaire.
Though we were talking about this before we started recording, Mormons, you've experienced it. Mormons are good at making money.
They know how to make dough.
And when you're never drinking, never doing drugs,
you gotta have something to do. Yeah, there's got to be something to do out there. Might as well make some money, I guess.
So it probably had less to do with the quality of the work and more to do with the quality of the person presenting the work and the fact that she worked her ass off to get it out there.
Could you imagine, though, if you were one of those Mormons that just spent years and years and years making all that fucking Mormon money, right? And then you decide to leave the church.
Yeah.
All of the booze, hookers, and blow that you could buy. Oh my God.
By the way, speaking of Mormon money, there is an entire Mormon entertainment industry. So,
yeah?
Yep. Yep.
But really,
there's
you
like
have all
movies,
the money to buy
books,
fucking
all sorts of it.
Anything that you wanted.
Yeah. You really could. You could find like... The thing is that it would be so hard to fake your way through the Mormon church because there are so many like gates to walk through along the way where somebody is really there being like
fact checking your bullshit.
So like, are you for real, etc. Yeah, so it would be hard, but yeah, it's for sure the Mormons know how to make their money.
It'd be a lot easier,
and that's all they're obsessed about, really.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it'd be a lot easier to fake your way through it in a fucking Methodist church or whatever.
Oh yeah,
where there's so many other people that are just like, I'm bullshitting this stuff too, for sure.
I just wanted a community to go to or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Or just wanted to make money off your tithes,
right?
So on. Wow. So she just basically managed to strike gold on the fucking first time she ever stuck a shovel in the ground.
Well, she got a bunch of rejections, but again, she just it's persistence, and she's a stay-at-home mom. What else is she doing? I mean, I'm not dissing on stay-at-home parents. I think probably a great idea. Honestly, it's going to save you money in the long run because childcare is expensive as shit.
Good Lord, man.
So not even dissing stay-at-home parents, and that is actually something that Stephenie Meyer says because she calls herself a feminist. People say, no, you're not. And she says, like, well, I'm representing the other side of feminism, the feminists who say, yeah, women should be able to do whatever they want, but I want to stay home with my kid.
Well, sure, you do you, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. You do you. That's cool that she can say that, but it's also like, you can say that because you don't have the experience of going out in the world and trying to get a job against a man. And realizing that the world is set up against you. So it's real easy to be flippant about it when you've not experienced it.
Yeah, well, there is that. So she sold the movie rights to this immediately.
Yeah, she sold it to Paramount, and then Paramount wanted to make, like, from what she described, was not even close to the movie at all. She said that if they gave it a different title, they could make the movie without having to pay her.
Wow. So it was like a lot.
Yeah, it apparently involved Bella being a track star. She had at some point she had night vision goggles and a gun, and there was a
this sounds better. This sounds better,
ski
frankly.
race at one point.
I don't know. I think this sounds better than what we saw.
Again, Paramount could make that movie and not have to pay her. So
yeah.
But yeah, she again, I don't know how this happened. Whenever she did sell the rights to Paramount, she must have kept enough rights and stuff to be able to say, no, you can't make that movie, which is not common for a person selling the first property they have to a company. I was going to
say, yeah, that to me is really, really crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we talked about the Joss Whedon and Buffy. Like, Buffy turned out, Buffy the movie
okay, so
turned out way different.
Buffy in this juxtapose each other, where Buffy is Joss Whedon, who you can argue maybe you don't like him, but Joss Whedon is a very successful writer and seems to know exactly what he's doing. Stephenie Meyer, I could say she knows exactly what she's doing, but she's not
good at it.
She's not a good writer. She's good at what she's doing. She knows her audience. Like
I mean, apparently she is putting something out there that a lot of people are connecting with.
There's no arguing that, and there's no arguing that there's nothing wrong with entering into the arts to make money.
Well, it all goes back to the fact that McDonald's sure does make a lot of burgers that people eat.
Yeah,
they're not the best cooks in the world.
It doesn't matter, does it?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So McDonald's has a right to exist. Stephenie Meyer has a right to exist. Whatever, that's fine with me. But when we get down to, I really, the mysteries to me are how she got the rights to her novels sold as a movie so quickly.
Yeah.
And how she got so much creative control. Because Summit Entertainment, when they bought the rights from Paramount, brought her on set to visit and see what was going on. They showed her the rough draft and asked for notes, and then showed her a rough draft of the final cut of the movie and asked what she thought.
That makes no sense. I mean, for a first-time writer, those are liberties that you are absolutely not afforded ever.
Now, by 2008, her fourth novel had already come out. She was a bestseller 4 times over, so maybe that has something to do with why Summit would trust her, but that's not generally the case. No. Stephen King's had 1 million bestsellers. It wasn't until recently that people started being like, we should have Stephen King come in and see what he thinks.
Yeah. So strange, man.
I don't know how that happens, but I don't begrudge her the success. People like this.
Let me ask you, do Mormons like this? Like, when you were a Mormon, were there other Mormons that are like, I love this Mormon
That is
book?
a more split issue. Most of the younger Mormons I knew liked it. Like younger Mormon girls. The younger Mormon... there's this weird, because it is a very patriarchal organization, there's an obvious and direct disconnect between men and women in the church.
Okay.
Like, there's the man stuff and there's the woman stuff. Women go to separate classes where they learn homemaking while men are learning how to use their priesthood. Like, and I'll tell you, those priesthood lessons are basically like being a dude, right?
Pretty nice, am I right?
And I can tell you from what I've heard from all of my female friends who weren't sipping the Kool-Aid, their experience with going to those homemaking classes is, oh, that's all you think about, huh? You look at some cloth and you're like, that's probably an oven mitt. Like, these women are just constantly thinking about, like, homemaking. And it's scary.
Very patriarchal.
Yes. Wow. Very patriarchal. It's about having kids, keeping a home.
Being a worthy vessel for the man.
I will say, like, again, the Mormon church did this thing where they made like a half step toward something resembling first wave feminism. And because of that, they're a half step above most churches.
Yeah.
Like, they encourage women to get education and stuff.
But imagine that.
Now, the idea, though, is just so you can be educated to teach your kids.
Right. All still goes back to the house.
Yeah. All still goes back to the house.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's not much to be expected in the way of, like, strong feminine roles in this. And, of course, we don't get them, really.
But did other Mormons like latch onto this and they're like, yo, this is fucking dope?
Yeah, that was the question.
The thing is that, I've always noticed, and Kate and I were talking about this earlier, it's like, if you're a band and you want to immediately have a fan base,
be part of a particular church.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, be vaguely Christian, like Creed.
Mormons have that too.
Yeah, and it's like, and immediately people will listen to it because they already agree with the message. This is good.
Hey, it's like that thing you like, but without all the swears.
It's better that way. It's for us.
I like it because it doesn't have all the swears.
Yeah.
I like to limit my vocabulary and pretend like that makes me above everyone.
I like to pretend that some words are somehow better than others.
Mm-hmm. I don't think about the fact that this word was just determined to be dirty at some point for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it's just another noise that your mouth makes.
I don't even consider the fact that a lot of them were just the English form of a word when the French took over England and decided English was a gross language.
Yeah, so that's a dirty word now.
Piss and shit. For instance. Like, if
for real.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous and stupid. Like, there is this level of logic and thinking in the Mormon church that I find very admirable. They really do apply logic to their doctrine.
Yeah.
But they don't have the world experience to then apply experience to logic. This is something you see with a lot of those people who argue for Donald Trump or whatever. They're like, logic. Emotion has no point in this. It's all logic. If numbers are going up, then good. Or whatever. And what they forget is the human experience of reality. Is that emotion is a reality. It's as much, it should be as much a part of logic as anything else.
Yeah.
Because we are experiencing these things and feeling these ways. So, again, admirable about Mormons, but again, it gets stopped somewhere. They stop their logic when it's inconvenient. So, there were Mormons who praised the idea that this Mormon was getting attention. Some even praised the idea of the book because they really liked the book. But so many of them found it, in some ways, dirty.
So some people are like, this is like a trashy romance novel kind of thing.
Consider that. Consider the level of person would have to read this and go, oh my God, I'm scandalized.
Because there's no sex, there's nothing.
But, okay, the one thing that should have scandalized them was not the thing that scandalized them. That 100-year-old man is trying to fuck a 17-year-old.
That should be an issue.
That's the scandalous part, and that's not the thing that scandalized.
That was the thing. It was a blip on their radar.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man.
So, Stephenie Meyer, I don't want to talk shit about her at all, because good for her. She made her money from her own experience. I hope that the world is nothing like what she sees it as, and I hope that people get beyond any level of thought that she was at that point. She might be beyond that now. I haven't looked at any of her new stuff.
Does she have new stuff?
Yeah, she's had a few movies come out recently.
Oh.
I don't think she's working much on writing prose as much as working in television and movies.
Okay.
Which is smart. Again, about making
follow
money.
Follow the money, man.
Yeah.
Follow the fucking money.
And again, when people, like, there's a thing that I can appreciate. If you write all these novels and they make a whole bunch of money and people say, yeah, but she's still not good at writing, it's like, okay, how can I still make money? I don't care. Like, if I'm not good at writing, then what can I do? Produce this? Fine.
Right.
Let's do that.
Yeah, be resourceful.
I want to make my money, and I'm tired of you all telling me how bad I am at writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Yeah, that's really something just to see how quickly that this took root in society and just became such a phenom when it is just so fucking piss poor.
Mm-hmm. And it gave us 50 Shades of Grey, which we should all be very appreciative of, I guess, right?
Really?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. I was like, I don't really know about that. And you said a lot of her inspiration for this was Mormonism.
That's what she cites as her number one inspiration for writing is Mormonism. So I'm not going out of my way to say that this is very Mormon. She says that it's very Mormon. But
is it because one of the bad guys in this was black? That's where the inspiration came from? Is that what she
and
means?
The main character is so white that people keep commenting on it?
Yeah. That's the Mormon influence. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Who did they get to write and direct this fucking pile of shit?
Okay, so Catherine Hardwicke is the director. Catherine Hardwicke has directed a few things. 13 was her first picture.
Oh, that was like a really widely acclaimed thing.
Yeah, Evan Rachel Wood.
Kate said it was really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's done a few other things. She worked on a lot of things for production design. Here's the thing. I haven't seen the other movies she's directed, but I kept reading people like saying they were great and well directed. And the movies that she did production design on, I really like the production design. Why does this movie look so bad?
It looks so fucking bad, Steve. It looks terrible.
It's not even. It's not shot well.
No,
it is like it's shot with a lot of cameras for sure.
Oh, God, yes.
The editor had a lot to do.
Had a lot to work with.
Yeah.
For fucking sure. And also, the editing is terrible.
It's real bad.
There's so many fucking shots in this where it's like, it cuts from one scene to another and like, a person changes their complete outfit. Or a person's location in the shot is completely different. Like that scene where fucking Edward's playing that stupid piano song. Bella's like across the room. Then in the next shot, she's on the piano
song.
Yeah. And then in the next shot, she's like on the piano bench with him. Like, the editing in this movie is fucking horseshit.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Probably because the poor fucking editor just had too much stuff to work with. Hard to keep track of.
True. I mean, yeah, because there was just so much there. So many different shots and stuff.
But why does this whole movie have that, like, nasty...
blue-green...
millennial teal? Like, to me, again, I've mentioned this on the podcast before, it looks like The Ring.
Yeah.
Like the American version
That's what
of
they're
The
going
Ring.
for. Yeah, that's...
But why?
Well, The Ring was playing off of The Matrix. But why is another good question. I don't know.
Yeah, The Matrix, like, super fucking green.
Well, I do know they were like, The Matrix succeeded. Let's separate the parts and try each of them on other things that we own. So was it the green? We'll use this Japanese horror movie remake and test if it was the green. Oh, it did well? Must have been the green.
Must have been that fucking nasty teal
Couldn't have
color.
possibly been the story or the acting. It was the green.
This movie looks disgusting.
It's gross.
It just looks fucking awful. That nasty, like, fluorescent blue-green, like I'm working in an office tinge is just
That is so much of what it looks like.
Dude, it's so visually exhausting.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like working a fucking 10-hour shift in an office with fluorescent tube lights. Like, why did anybody decide, like, you know what? People will love to stare at this on a fucking 30-foot large screen in a theater for 2 fucking hours.
I mean,
it looks like shit.
I'll say for sure it is the thing that made me, as Andy Muschietti, who directed It Chapter 1 and It Chapter 2, his movie Mama, did a thing where they had 3 different flavors of that. They had the blue-green, then they had the blue, and then they had the orange. And they would use those in very specific scenes to indicate very specific things. And it was just like
Crash or something.
Yes. And it was just like, this is dog shit.
Super heavy-handed color theory shit.
Yeah. It's just dog shit. So I don't know why they did that.
It looks stupid.
It looks bad.
It's the kind of thing that I think is meant to emphasize how overcast and gloomy and grungy and rainy this area is. And
but that's not even what overcast looks like.
No, I mean, seriously, in this movie, it looks like a fucking level 5 tornado is about to strike at any time.
Yeah. Like it's just like, this is the craziest lighting ever. Yeah. What's about to happen?
Yeah, like if you've never lived through a really intense tornado experience where like it's super overcast and cloudy, but the light is like green and everything looks fucking weird.
Yeah.
Then you won't know what we're talking about, but that's what this whole movie looks like. It looks like It
looks like if you have sinus issues, you'd have a headache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the fucking look of this movie.
It's terrible.
I absolutely hate it.
Now, this movie was written by Melissa Rosenberg, who...
So we got like a fucking trio of women for the source material, the writer, the director.
And there was some input by Stephenie Meyer on who they got, but they basically were like, we're doing Catherine Hardwicke. And then Melissa Rosenberg was asked to write the script. She's mostly TV person, worked on like Party of Five, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Oh my God, my mom used to make me watch that shit. So fucking terrible.
She worked on the early seasons of Dexter, which are the only watchable seasons of Dexter. Absolutely. I know there's some Dexter fans out there. Your show fucks.
Yeah, it's not very good. Also, the book's terrible.
Oh, I bet. She also, though, was the creator and showrunner of Jessica Jones, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, she worked on a few projects that you might not like, but those weren't her projects. Her show running and creating capability is Jessica Jones. She fucking nailed it. That's a great show. So she knows what she's doing. And she was, I guess Summit really wanted a very faithful adaptation of the book because the book was selling extremely well. And so she's doing this faithful adaptation of the book, which means no matter what she does, it's not going to be good.
No.
Because the book sucked. So you can't do a good and faithful adaptation of a bad book.
And dude, I will say that is where I'm completely at odds with this movie. Is okay, the first time that we watched it, again, I was fucking on another planet for half of the movie, but I was on planet Earth for the first half. By the way, I think I really like that beer.
I do too. It's just weird.
Yeah, I just finished my half of it, and I'm like, I think that's a really
it's good,
unique coffee tinge double IPA kind of flavor. It's good. So the first time that I watched this movie, I was like, man, that was absolute horseshit.
Yeah.
These characters are just paper cutouts with no personality whatsoever.
Not
saying
even close.
These inane fucking lines that maybe a 12-year-old would think were romantic and stuff.
You're a pretty. Yeah, but you can't have me. Why not, danger?
I have a danger. I make afraid.
Oh no, your danger is scare me, but I'm not scared.
You should stay away. I'm the bad.
You say bad. I say love.
Yes. Eternity. Romance. That's
Seriously, at one point, he's like, I murder people. And she was like, doesn't bother me.
Fine.
Yeah. And he's like, but like for
really
real,
nothing. Seriously,
like there's nothing that could stop me from murdering you. And she's like,
people.
I'm not scared of you. And it's just like,
fuck me, dude.
As a 100-year-old, you should grab a 17-year-old by the shoulders and say, sweetie, you should be.
You should seriously not be here.
And also, I'm gonna stop going to high school because the logic of that makes no sense.
We'll get into that fucking shit right there. But like watching this movie the first time, I was just like, this is the most inane, stupid bullshit I've ever seen. And then I read the book.
And you were like, boy, this is the best, right?
No, I was not. But honestly, it made me reevaluate the movie because like whenever I watched the movie the first time and the second time, I'm like, man, Kristen Stewart is just a fucking moron. Who plays
Robert Pattinson?
Robert Pattinson, thank you. This guy is also a fucking brainless idiot.
They can't do an act.
But then the thing is now that I've read the book, I'm like, actually,
they did an amazing act.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, like it is actually genuinely one of the best book to movie translations I've ever seen. The movie,
they went against all human instincts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the movie's brainlessness, idiocy, and shallowness is a perfect reflection of the book.
And just in case you're still like, well, fuck Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, they weren't happy doing it. They didn't enjoy it. Robert Pattinson was broke before he got this role, and Kristen Stewart was 17. She was taking whatever fucking came at her.
Wow.
Just leave them alone. They didn't do any fucking thing wrong. They took a role that made them a lot of money, and they both hated how bad it was.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, they're not idiots.
No.
They were seriously just working with what they were given, and what they were given is this fucking stupid book.
Yes.
So it really did change the way that I see this movie, because I was watching the movie being like, these people are horrible actors and actresses. This script is fucking dog shit. This story is terrible. And then I'm like, well, they were working off of something that was starring brainless, stupid characters.
If they had brains, they'd be failing at the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so actually the adaptation from book to movie is extremely, extremely faithful and captures the spirit so well.
And shorter than the book, so better, right?
Again, that's where I'm at odds.
Yeah.
That's really where I'm at odds, because there's a number of things in the movie storyline that are just so fucking poorly developed or skipped over.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
No,
honestly,
at all. Whereas in the book, at least you have hours and hours and days
of boring
fucking useless dialogue between Edward and Bella to show that they're falling in love and all this kind of shit, to explain away why they're so attached to each other, even though they're not. Oh my god, fuck their whole romance situation.
My love is death.
God,
that's something you should have said at some point.
Damn, dude. But it's like the book in a lot of ways actually makes more sense than the movie, but it also takes a lot longer.
Yeah.
I really don't know how to say which is better. Kate said she thought that the book was actually better, which I understand from some perspectives, because again, like, especially when you watch the movie, there's zero reason Edward and Bella should love each other. There's zero reason. Whatsoever.
The central premise of the zero reason is why everyone is obsessed with Bella. Like, the obsession with Bella that seems to permeate not only vampires, but everybody.
Oh, God,
and
Steve.
For what reason?
For what the fuck reason? Dude, and there's all this shit, and it's played up more in the book than it is in the movie, about, like, Edward's always like, you're not like any girl I've ever known. Have you ever known any fucking human being? She's the most average-ass, boring fucking human ever.
Not like other girls. That is how to be an individual as a faithful Mormon woman, is to be not like other girls.
But meaning, what is there about her?
Well, what it would mean is driving a truck, not wearing dresses.
Wait, hang on. Driving a truck that your dad bought for you.
Yeah, driving a truck, maybe wearing baseball hats sometimes.
Ooh, wow.
Not wearing dresses, eating big sloppy hamburgers. Like, those are the
stuff she does.
The idea of being not like other girls, like, I play video games with the boys or whatever. Like, it's your way of actually being an individual in this entire organization and culture,
very homogenous
that tells you
society.
that what you're supposed to be is a mom and a wife.
Yeah, it's very much like Japanese culture in a lot of ways, where the homogeny is very very important.
So slight steps out of the ordinary, the not like other girls steps, those are like highly valued among Mormon women who want to experience some level of freedom, but don't want to actually enter the real world. So that's why Bella Swan is like a hero in this way, because Mormon girls can look at her and be like, oh, she's so different.
But that's making no sense to me as just a fucking heathen. Like, I look at this and I'm like, what the fuck about this character is unique? Like, there is nothing about her.
She bumps into things and she likes boys.
Oh, she's clumsy and can't dance. Wow, character traits. Are those character traits?
No, they're not.
They're not fucking character traits.
No, they're not character traits.
Dude, one thing, too, that's in the book that's not really in the movie at all is like as soon as she moves back home with her dad, Charlie, she immediately becomes this like daughter wife to him and is like cooking his meals and doing his laundry.
Of course she is.
And
well, he's a man. Men need our help. They got all the weight of the world on their shoulders.
Jesus Christ, man.
But you know who's really in charge, right?
I don't even remotely understand. Like this entire way that Edward is obsessed with her is something I can't comprehend.
No.
I mean, we can sit here and talk about Bella's obsession with Edward.
Which but his obsession is the problem. It's not hers.
That's the one that's the problem. Like, dude, she is a kid and she's infatuated with a extremely hot person that is showing her interest.
Yep.
That is the basis of that entire romance. And let's talk for a second about their romance.
And he says specifically that she couldn't deny him if she wanted to. Like in that like wood scene, that everything about him biologically makes her want
screams out to her and stuff. Yeah.
So he not only does he know he shouldn't be doing this, he knows that he's doing it unconsciously and controlling her in some way, and she can't resist. Like,
dude, the basis of their relationship.
Yeah.
And all of this connection. Okay, again, he is this guy who is a vampire who is, I guess, just hooked on her fucking stench.
Yeah.
Which all
the vampires seem to be way into.
It's very fucking weird and gross.
It's really strange.
And also is never explained ever. Why?
Isn't it?
No.
Is it explained in the book or anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why?
He's got to be explained in the future ones, right?
I don't fucking know. I doubt it, honestly.
Yeah, probably not.
Why is she so entrancing to these vampires?
Well, she's the protagonist.
No reason. Oh, yeah, because she's main character.
She's got protagonist powers.
Oh, Jesus, dude. But her entire infatuation with this guy, like I was talking about with the book, like, she can't go more than 5 seconds without talking about how this guy is a fucking male model and is a fucking angel and a god on earth, and she just wants to fuck his brains out. Her infatuation with him is entirely because he's hot.
Yeah.
There is never any talk about, like, his kindness, his intelligence, his virtue, whatever.
Which is, again, fine. As a teenager, I was into girls entirely because they were hot. Because that's how teenagers are. That's your sexual drive. It's just like, that guy's fucking hot. I want to fuck him really bad. Oh, he's a vampire? I don't care. I still want that dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, Edward is a pedophile, stalker, murderer.
Yep. And their relationship's entirely unhealthy outside of those things. Like, even if those things weren't true, their relationship is unhealthy.
I'm telling you, dude, the thing is that after I got through reading this book and watching this movie, I started to understand more about the kind of people there are out there that, like, fall in love with Ted Bundy.
Yep.
Like Stephenie Meyer.
That's what this is more about. This is more about falling in love with Ted Bundy than it's about falling in love.
He's, again, pedophile, stalker, murderer.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I'm in love with him.
In the movie,
he's a bad boy.
In the movie, his legend literally precedes him, making him so much more like Ted Bundy now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Because, like, she's already met the Cullens. Like, they've all walked through the door before he walks through the door. So there's already this Cullen obsession she's developed seconds into seeing them. And then here comes this guy who's not in a relationship. Because that's the only reason she didn't like the other two.
They were already hooked up.
Because the first guy who walked in the door was Kellen Lutz. She could have just been as obsessed with him.
Yeah. But he wasn't single.
But he wasn't single. He walked in with a girl. Then Alice walks in with her, whatever that guy is.
Her weird twin fucker.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And then he walks in alone. So it's like, oh, finally, there's an available penis. Yeah.
Something for me to hop on.
Yeah.
It makes zero sense.
It doesn't.
And that's honestly, and again, this is one of those, like, I feel like I'm getting old when I start talking about this kind of thing. But it's like, that's to me the most troubling aspect of this entire story is the idea that this book and this movie are presenting this idea to, you know, teen or preteen girls that this is what romance is.
Yeah.
Romance is becoming obsessed with someone based on physical appearance who has nothing but the worst intentions for you.
Right.
I mean, dude.
He says,
I want to kill you.
Yeah, I want to kill you. And she's like, I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't what I said. I said I want to. I didn't ask you if you were afraid of me killing you. I said I want to.
I want to kill you.
Like, I have the desire to murder you and exsanguinate you.
Yeah. But he's so hot, you don't care.
Yeah.
And then this idea of, oh my fucking God,
Wait, now
dude.
I'm starting to get maybe Team Jacob. I don't understand the Team Edward, Team Jacob thing. I don't know what it's all about. I don't know enough about Jacob because all I've read is the first book and seen the first movie.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know enough about Jacob to get it. But if Team Jacob spawned early as a like, you should not be with that weird pervy vampire guy, you should just pick anybody else.
Dude, and that's one of those things that I was hoping to find in the book that I didn't find. Like, you were talking earlier about how early novels were like cautionary tales.
Mm-hmm.
This movie
seems like a cautionary tale.
Yes,
yeah.
And this
seems
story,
like that's where it's going.
It had the potential to be like, yo,
yeah,
you know, you fall in love with this guy who's just a fucking pretty face that has awful intentions for you, and even tells you so, but you're just in love with this guy because you're fucking horny, I guess.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you've got this other guy who is age appropriate and has actual stuff in common with you.
Yeah, you guys know each other from childhood or whatever. Yeah, there are reasons why maybe you'd be interested in him.
Except that he has darker colored skin than the pale guy that you really like.
That seems to be probably what it was.
So that's why you're not in love with him.
Yeah.
Also, there's something in there about Native Americans being like savages, I guess.
There's...
am I wrong?
All I know about the last two books is from the How Did This Get Made episodes about Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2. And what I do know is that eventually Jacob is awarded the prize of getting to fuck their daughter.
Oh, yeah, he like imprints on their daughter.
Who grows in like a month.
It's
from
really
infancy to adulthood.
Renesmee, she's
Renesmee, named after her mother and their mother, yes. Yeah, so
it seemed like this was maybe going towards girls, don't just fall in love with the pretty face. This guy wants to suck your blood. He's a parasite.
That actually would be
a predator.
That could be a really good cautionary tale of
he calls himself a predator.
The guys who do these things that seem like love. That's not love.
Exactly.
Like what they're doing is obsessive and possessive and creepy.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, this leans full into it.
Yeah,
and
no,
like,
what this says
that's fucking love.
What this says is that's what you need.
It bothers me, and again, it's one of those things that it bugs me that I think a lot of young people got this idea of that's what romance and a relationship is like.
But this also goes back to what we were saying about people's fear of children reading novels and being perverted.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
The way that Edward is so possessive and controlling of her, especially in the book, again, less so in the movie, but like, dude, I'm talking in the book, like there's multiple parts where he regulates when she can eat.
Yeah.
And like tells her when she should eat.
Well, that's where the 50 Shades of Grey spawned off,
it's
right?
Like submissive, dominant kind of thing.
Where it was very clear to at least one person, oh, that's what's happening. This is an S&M relationship where and that is a type of S&M relationship. There are people out there who want to have to report everything they did in the day, everything they ate in the day, and be told what they can and cannot do by their partner.
Yeah, and if that's your thing,
that's your thing. That's
your thing. It don't hurt nobody.
But if it's between a 17-year-old and an almost 100-year-old, then
man?
It's not an equal relationship, and it's definite that he is exploiting her.
And this entire relationship between them just reeks of all the super creepy, disgusting stories we've heard of people in positions of power and authority figures grooming young people.
This is about grooming. Very much.
It's just, that's all that it is.
The fact that
this whole thing of him approaching her and being like, I'm the like forbidden fruit, you should stay away from me.
Yeah.
I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm so powerful and I know everything and you don't know anything and I'm good at everything and you're bad at everything.
Yeah.
It's just exploitive, creepy grooming shit.
I need you to understand, just real quick, that, again, a lot of this is coming from Mormonism. His vampirism, in a lot of ways, is representative of the priesthood, where he has these fancy powers that only he can use. But according to doctrine, women attain the priesthood through marriage. So they have the priesthood through their husband, which is exactly what happens.
So they can't get them on their own.
No, but this is exactly what happens in these books. They get married.
She becomes
pregnant. She's giving birth, and then he has to bite her and turn her into a vampire. He has to give her the powers. Now that is when it gets a little different, because she's like the ultra vampire. Like, she for some reason is like so vampire. But
why?
I don't know.
Because she's the main character of the book.
Yeah, because she's the main character of the book.
Fuck me.
Because somebody read Harry Potter and was like, oh, the main character of the book, everybody recognizes them all the time.
You're Bella Swan. I'm the eyes and ears of this place.
Let me let me get some pictures for the yearbook and the newspaper. Let me write an article about you. Oh my God, you're Bella Swan,
the Bella Swan.
It's just like she is a student that you do not know. Now, I do get, if a hot girl moves into a new high school, everybody's going to pay attention to her.
Yeah,
but it's
like her fame precedes her.
Yeah, in this case, it's not like that. It's not like everybody's like, oh, she's so hot.
Dude,
they're all just approaching her constantly. Like, I want to be your best friend.
You were pointing out earlier that as soon as she arrives to the school, she's approached by a celebrity musician.
James Eha.
James Eha from the Smashing Pumpkins. Even James Eha knows who she is.
That kid looks so much like James Eha in the Bullet with Butterfly Wings video. Like, so much like
swoopy hair,
now,
everything.
Speaking of which, this entire movie looks like an Evanescence video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it fucking does.
So, Stephenie Meyer on her website, she updates the website with songs that inspire her writing.
That's fucking so shot. That's so shot.
Some of the bands.
Oh my God, how many of them are Seether songs? How many of them are Seether, Steve?
Well, there's some on here you might like, maybe.
Okay, all right, tell me about
Muse? You a fan?
Nope. That's
Blue
in this movie.
October.
Oh, fuck, no. Dude, they just did like a show in Knoxville. And I'm like, they're still a band? I fucking opened for them years ago. There's nobody there.
They just came back. My Chemical Romance.
MCR. Okay, I will say this.
They have some okay songs.
They do. Like, that's one of those
like,
bands
of all those bands in that era, like, they maybe had the best. They were the most distilled version of that.
They kind
emo,
were.
goth,
angry,
screaming sort of thing, yeah. But also still kind of okay.
Like, I really absolutely fucking hated that band just because I saw them on the covers of magazines and stuff like this. And then I started having, of course, this is like 10 years ago, guitar students, you know, be like, hey, I want to learn this Black Parade song or whatever.
Or something like that.
And they bring it in and I'd be like, you know what? Orchestration and stuff is actually pretty okay. Yeah. I mean, it's like melodramatic
maybe some good
stuff.
Musicians saw an opportunity and took it. Yeah.
Not bad, man. Okay, so some
Coldplay.
Some MCR. Oh, fuck, Coldplay.
Your favorite. And then Linkin Park.
Linkin Park sucks. I hate
I'm not
all
a fan.
Of this.
They have songs that, like, I know I should like because I like the idea behind the words, but I just never get into them at all.
And this is all also the most, like, surface level, mainstream. Like, you're not even trying to find music that's out there other than stuff that's being shoved down your throat.
If she had mentioned some more off the like Hawthorne Heights or something. If she had said Hawthorne Heights, it'd have been like,
all right.
Oh, okay.
You're at least doing a little work.
Yeah. But it's just like, oh, these are the things that were
favorite restaurants:
on MTV.
Olive Garden, Ruby Tuesday, Red Lobster.
Have you heard of the Darden Group? All of those restaurants.
I love their places. Lots of great places there. Yeah, that's just the most fucking generic bullshit that I would have expected.
Yeah, and that's what you see when you're watching this.
That's what you hear when you're watching this.
That's what you hear when you're watching it.
Soundtrack is a bunch of bullshit.
It's real bad. I love Radiohead. That Radiohead song should not be in the fucking closing credits.
What is that fucking shit towards the end of the movie that's like American Mouth, Flightless Bird?
Oh, Jesus.
What the fuck is this bullshit? I don't even know who does that song, but I fucking hate you.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed.
It's so bad. There's a little bit of original soundtrack stuff in here that's
the score's
okay.
not bad. Yeah, the score's not bad.
It's okay. Mm-hmm. But anytime they use a licensed music in here, it's just god awful. It's fucking god awful.
Huh. I'm not surprised by her inspirations musically.
No.
Except that Evanescence isn't on the list. That's like really it. That's really it.
And I mean, to be fair, Davy Stranger hadn't started his career at this point.
Oh, of course. Anything she makes from now on
is going to be influenced.
It's got a tinge of Stranger to
by the strange one. DavyStranger.bandcamp.com. In case you're wanting to hear the dulcet tones of Davy.
He's the one.
I'm just saying, he's got some great work out there.
He does.
I think could inspire the next wave of
Twilight,
teenage vampire horse shit.
I mean, these books though, these will keep getting made. Not Twilight in particular, but these types of books, they'll just keep getting made for every new generation. Which is why, like, if you're trying to write a novel and you want to make something out of it, like, seriously, read this book. Read books like this. These are the things that people want to read.
I'm serious.
It doesn't matter that it's not good. People want it.
That's what I gotta say. If you're ever second guessing your ability to write a fucking book, read this bullshit.
Yeah.
But listen, if you're an aspiring writer that wants to get into it, I mean, seriously, the only difference between you and Stephenie Meyer is that she wrote a book and you haven't yet.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. You can't look down on her. You can't look down on her even if you start writing books and start succeeding. I mean, she's still done more in writing than
I have. I mean, I was sitting here listening to this book, for the past 2 weeks, and I'm like, I know easily write something better than this.
Maybe.
Yeah. But you know what the difference is? I fucking haven't.
You haven't. Yeah. And
so
you don't even know there's an audience out there for it.
Yeah. So how mad can I be when I'm like, this is horseshit, but well, she did more work than I did, so there's that.
Can't be mad at her. Honestly, like I don't get any Stephenie Meyer hate. I don't get any Kristen Stewart hate or Robert Pattinson hate. It's all just money moving in the market. But that is why, like, we can look at this and say it's absolute garbage. Like, there's nothing to it. There's no reason behind it except to move money from one place to another.
Well, here's the thing, though, is like when I look at Stephenie Meyer and I go, this one person thought that this story about a 100-something-year-old person stalking a underage high school girl obsessively
was appropriate.
Yes. Like, I look at that and I go, she thought that was appropriate? What an idiot. But then I look at this and I go, you know who's really the idiots? The millions of other people that backed her up.
Yeah.
Stephenie Meyer's just one person.
Like, and it had to happen because she hadn't written anything before this. This wasn't a like, oh, I know Stephenie Meyer read that short story in Harper's or whatever. No, she hadn't done anything.
Out of nowhere.
So it meant that people were picking up this book, reading it, and going to their friends and saying, you have to read this.
That makes me more disappointed than anything.
Moving forward beyond that, more and more people saying, you have to read this.
It's seriously all like the Donald Trump effect, where I'm like, there's this guy running for president that is clearly a xenophobe and misogynist and a racist.
And an idiot. Just
a fucking moron.
Overall moron. Like a very dumb person.
And that made me sad that I was like, there's one person out there that can make it this far to the top. And then I saw millions of people vote for him, and I'm like, actually, that's the disappointing part.
The disappointment. And among those people, you know who's more disappointing to me? Not the people who voted for him because they were like, fuck yeah, Trump, is the people who were like, well, I don't want Hillary.
Yeah, not a woman.
Yeah. What's the difference, really?
Yeah.
That's the idiot.
Honestly, it's like I'm more upset at the fan base and the fandom and the support of this idea than I am of the idea itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I think that's true of all of us. I think, like, whenever, say, that's why people, you don't have anybody saying Last Vampire on Earth sucks. Because who cares? Nobody's saying it doesn't. When you have millions of people saying something is awesome and people look at them and go, objectively, that is not awesome. How do you think that's awesome? Oh my God, humans are stupid. Wait a second, my entire world is crumbling before my eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? They got tricked. They probably don't really like it. That's what we did with Trump, and that's what we did with Twilight. That's what we're going to keep doing every time we're constantly surprised by the stupidity of humanity.
It all goes back to this thing that I picked up a while back that said, when you think about someone that you think of as average intelligence, remember, half of everybody's dumber than them.
Half of everybody is dumber than a person of average intelligence.
But I will tell you what, it's hard not to just become entranced with this story by Bella and Edward's on-screen chemistry, which is just entrancing.
When I read the reviews to this, I was bumfuzzled.
Yeah? How you mean?
People talked about their chemistry. And I was like, what?
What chemistry?
Like, what chemistry could they have?
That first scene where she walks into the classroom and that fan...
And he's like, you fucking stinky ass bitch.
Dude, like, he looks like he is constipated and trying not to fart.
No, I shouldn't fart.
Like, he looks revolted by her.
I wonder... Okay, so this stood out as very strange to me that Catherine Hardwicke said when they cast Robert Pattinson that she had a conversation with Robert Pattinson where she sat him down and said, now, okay, she's 17 years old. Remember that. What? And when I read that, I was like, what does she mean by that? And then I realized, like, oh, he was over 17. Like, was she saying, like, don't actually fuck your co-star? And then I was like, well, that might explain the lack of chemistry where it was just like, he was like, oh, I better be careful not to fuck my co-star, so let's not get too close.
What?
All of that was mind-blowing to me. When I read that she said that, it was just like, why did you feel like you needed to do that? Why did you hire a guy that you heard like, oh, he fucks underage girls?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Also, 17's not underage in most states, as far as I understand.
That's true. Or in most Winger songs.
That's she's only 17. I bet whenever Winger had that song come out, all the other hair bands are like amateurs.
Yeah, probably so.
Ted Nugent was like,
I was gonna say fucking
17.
Jimmy Page, who kidnapped like a 14-year-old on tour, was like, too old.
God damn it.
They did some horrible
so many
things back
fucking
in the day.
pedophiles in the world.
Lots and lots and lots of them out there, Steve. I bet that Winger is pissed that they didn't get tapped for soundtrack, though.
That would have been actually, I can see a version of this movie. Nothing changed except 80s
recut with hair metal.
Just recut with hair metal and shot on 80s film and 80s hair and 80s like clothing.
No, yeah.
Suddenly it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's.
Yeah, because he's like in like Edward's like an 80s like hair metal like rock star.
Oh,
like
I was just imagining him dressed as Kiefer Sutherland from Lost Boys, but that actually makes sense.
You know, fuck, just watch Lost Boys instead.
Yeah, just watch the Lost Boys instead of this.
Yeah, it's horrible. Their chemistry is awful. Bella's chemistry with her dad is fucking awful. There's no good chemistry between any of the characters in this. Jacob is the most charismatic one.
He is the most charismatic in this movie for sure, and his uncle in the wheelchair.
Yeah,
and that guy's in a ton of stuff. He's
That's
great.
A really fucking veteran.
And honestly, Taylor
there.
Lautner. I just think about other stuff I've seen him in. He seems to be a fun, nice guy.
Well, that's the thing is like really about everybody in this seems pretty cool. I mean, Robert Pattinson's been in some amazing shit.
Oh yeah, Robert Pattinson. I think Kristen Stewart's great. I watch her Hot Ones interview. I just watched it the other night. I already have a crush on her.
I was frankly hoping to watch it to strengthen my hate in her,
but
and I was
didn't work. Yeah,
she's all right.
She's cool.
Fine.
Yeah.
And she was good in what was it, Adventureland?
Adventureland. She's also
good in that.
Really good in Lizzie, which is on Shudder.
That's a Lizzie Borden thing. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, she's good in a ton of stuff. She played fucking Joan Jett in The Runaways.
Right. Yeah. And I still haven't seen The Lighthouse yet, but I've heard that
Robert Pattinson is good. He's our future Batman. Like, he's a good fucking actor. the thing that I think just comes across here is that you got some good actors like Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart. I think Anna Kendrick is great. Christian Serratos. Anna Kendrick and Christian Serratos play her two like non-vampire friends.
Yeah.
And Christian Serratos looks so much like AOC. Like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She looks so much like her.
She totally
it's like
does.
Teenage version of AOC.
Dude, we were watching it last night, and I was like, who did she remind me of? Fucking AOC. Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
But they're all great. It's just like they have nothing to work with. I've seen them in other stuff, and they're good, and they're not good in this, and it can't be their fault.
It's not their fault. That's honestly the thing that I really took about this after, again, having read the book and watched the movie is like, they can't be blamed for their characters being fucking shot to shit. They were just following orders, man.
But in this case, nobody died. Just people lost. People spent too much money watching it.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude. So fucking bad. And I think that their on-screen chemistry is exemplified in what I have in my notes as 5 minutes of hell.
The wood scene.
The wood scene. Dude, the scene like in the middle of this movie when Bella gets to school, she walks out to the woods, Edward follows her, and it is just 5 minutes of all the goddamn dumbest lines I've probably ever heard in a movie.
I know you are. I am what? Vampire. Yeah, vampire. I'd be scary.
You know what we eat? And then he's like, you need to see me in sunlight. And then gives her this hyperspeed piggyback ride.
Which is cute. I mean, it's like...
It's dumb as shit.
It's super dumb.
It's fucking stupid.
It's like, I bet that would be something if a cute guy you liked did that, you'd be like, oh, adorable.
If that was in What We Do in the Shadows, it would be funny.
Yeah, it would be funny. Mm-hmm.
But the fact is this is supposed to be this like...
serious
relationship building scene. And he hyperspeed piggyback rides her through the fucking woods.
Up into a large tree.
And into a big clearing up at the top. And he's like, this is what I am. And then he sparkles.
Yeah. Okay, again, this is Mormon bullshit. The idea that you can look at a person who's Mormon and just tell by their shine. Like, they just shine different.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, they look different.
Like what fucking Scatman Crothers would talk about?
No, more just like you can see the light coming out of their eyes or whatever. And
I can see the enforced happiness in their grin.
I mean, there's a lot. There's the other big Mormon thing about vampirism in this is like that they're this mysterious family that's so different from everybody, but when you get to know them, they're actually pretty normal.
Sounds like Mormons.
Yeah.
Dude, he gets up there and he's all glimmering in the fucking sunlight, which we'll get into the vampire lore of this bullshit in a second, but she's like, it's like diamonds. And he says, it's the skin of a killer, Bella. It's the skin of a killer.
This motherfucker is gaslighting our girl. Like, over and over and over, he is taking things and being like, oh, you think that's beautiful? Here's the dirty side of it. But guess what?
It's dangerous.
I know so much mysterious stuff that no one else knows.
Damn, dude. And in seriously, like in the book, he's good at everything.
Yeah.
He's just fucking effortlessly good at everything.
Well, and in the book, she is bad at everything, but everyone admires her constantly for everything.
Fuck me, dude.
Right?
Yeah, he says it's the skin of a killer. He goes on to elaborate that he's the world's most dangerous predator. He's a perfect killer. She's like, oh, I don't care. And then he's like, I want to kill you.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm not scared of you.
This is women writing love letters to Ted Bundy.
This is
what this is.
Yeah, and this, by the way, there's a subreddit called Men Writing Women. You could throw anything from Stephenie Meyer in there, and people would be like, yeah, that man can't write a woman.
Jesus Christ.
But that's a fucking woman writing a woman. She can't write a woman.
It makes no sense.
She can't dive in because there's nothing to dive into. The depth of Mormon, like being a Mormon woman. Not saying Mormon women. Women are much deeper than that no matter what they are. But the depth of a Mormon woman is very shallow because this is all you can be.
That's all you experience.
Yes.
Yeah. Then he goes on to say that she's like his personal brand of heroin.
Yeah, which is like a play on words that works in writing maybe, but also not something anyone would say.
No.
Or that makes any sense, because she's not a hero in any way, so she doesn't...
She's not a heroine.
Yeah.
And then, dude, seriously, like, every line in this entire 5-minute sequence is just trying to one-up the stupidness of the last line.
It really, yeah, it is a back and forth
works.
of like, I bet I could say something stupider than you.
Dude, and at the end of the day, we all lose.
We do.
Because the thing is like, this entire fucking dumbass scene, it's doing all this shit, and then there's the whole, so then the lion fell in love with the lamb.
What a stupid lamb.
What a sick, masochistic lion.
What does he mean there? Okay, all right.
What?
I'll realize that a 17-year-old who knows the word masochist is going to probably use it in a wrong way.
Sure.
But this is an almost 100-year-old who knows the word masochist and has been going to school for the entirety of his life.
For whatever the fuck reason.
For whatever the fuck reason. Still need to talk about that. Okay, so what is the masochistic part for him? The masochistic part would be him staying with the girl and not turning into a vampire, so she has to age and die.
That would be the masochistic
in front of him.
part,
That would
right.
be masochistic.
Yeah.
So he's refusing to turn her into a vampire, which, like, I guess furthers the masochism, but that's also sadism.
Yeah.
He's being sadistic to himself and to her. He is much more of a sadist than he is a masochist.
It would seem that way.
Yeah. What a sadistic lion, if he said that, would have been much deeper and more meaningful.
I would have been like, that's something nobody would ever say, but
Yeah.
at least it makes sense.
Yeah, but that's the thing that I really hate about it, is when he says what a masochistic lion, it's more of his fucking gaslighting. It's more of him saying like, oh, this is so much harder on me.
This is tough on me.
This is so tough on me. Oh God, even being around you is so hard for me.
It's
so she's like,
weird
oh, you
grooming
don't have
shit.
to try. Don't try. It's okay.
Yeah, it's just more weird pedophile grooming shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then after all that, you get the whole, Bella's back at home. 3 things I was certain of. Of course, I'm obviously paraphrasing, but the whole, like, he's a vampire.
Yeah.
He wants to drink my blood, and I was irrevocably in love with him. For what fucking reason?
There doesn't even have, that's the thing, is it doesn't have to have a reason. And as a teenage girl, she can be a little confused and not really sure of herself to just say, God damn it, I want that fucking dick so bad.
Yeah, I just want to fuck.
Yes.
Maybe that's all that
because
it is,
if she said that, it would make so much sense.
Well, okay, that makes sense.
Like, all right, cool. Like, I mean, you can't help whose dick you want, right? Like, you just want to have sex with some people. Adults learn, like, that would be bad for me and the entire world around me. I'm not going to have sex with that person. They're a fucking train wreck.
Yeah.
She's 17. I want that dick so bad. I don't get.
Which, again, could play into this being a good cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Don't just give in to your attractions and so on.
Yeah.
No, this is just
Clarissa.
embrace that
cautionary tale. This guy's bad for you. He's bad for you. Everybody keeps saying he's bad for you. Oh, turns out he's bad for you. He's bad for you. You're dead. Like, that's how that novel works. Whereas in this, works the exact same way, except, oh, lucky, he can make you undead.
And you can live with him forever.
Yeah, and now you're better than you were before.
Holy shit.
So don't even worry about if your crazy gaslighting boyfriend murders you because he's abusive. He'll bring you back to life.
He's killed people.
Yeah.
He has killed people.
Yeah, he's telling her that.
He's killed people. He wants to kill you.
Uh-huh.
He wanted to kill those people in the alley that were about to assault her.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's where the bullshit actually comes in for me. He can't kiss her without wanting to drink her blood, but he can read the minds of 5 guys that want to gang rape his girlfriend and not kill them. This dude is full of fucking bullshit.
I haven't thought about that.
I can tell you this right now, as a guy who used to be Mormon and had to stop some makeout sessions. It's a lot easier to be like, I'm not gonna have sex with you than, wait a second, you guys were gonna try to gang rape my girlfriend and I have the power to destroy you all?
Effortlessly.
Not a big deal.
Not gonna
get my Volvo.
my super safe car.
Yeah, a super safe car where I'm not worried about the goddamn seatbelt, but the safety features. The Volvo thing is not just a movie thing; it's a book thing.
It makes zero fucking sense. Yeah, it's in the book too that he drives a Volvo, but also like all the vampires love to drive ultra fast. So it's like, why don't you drive a fucking Ferrari? You're rich as shit.
He runs faster than his car. We see that in the baseball game.
Goddamn,
the baseball. Jesus, man, this is going to be a 5-hour episode. We haven't talked about baseball games or the fact that baseball is a big element of this movie somehow.
Why all the baseball?
Why all the baseball? Her mom's boyfriend plays baseball. Her dad only watches baseball, which her mom apparently mentioned when she left the dad for a baseball player.
I don't want somebody that just watches baseball. I want somebody that plays baseball.
Right. Her mom calls her and her boyfriend is in the background hitting baseballs in a batting cage. And then they play a vampire baseball game.
It's like this weird, like psychological, like Kubrickian thread that just runs through the movie.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Women desire balls.
That's what it seems like to me, actually, is that probably came from the writers' workshops. Because, first off, I'll tell you this. 100%. No matter what. Yeah, you need other people to teach you how to write. But also, 200%, no matter what, when you're an adult, any class you're taking is a class you're taking with your competition, and anything they say to you needs to be taken with 8 million grains of salt.
Okay, yeah.
Because they may be trying to destroy you.
Yeah.
It's just a truth. If you're competing, why would they help you? So this seems like something I think may have come from those writers' workshops where somebody was like, oh, you mentioned that like her husband really liked baseball. Like maybe she left him for a baseball player.
Ooh.
Oh, and maybe Bella gets found out by these bad vampires while playing baseball.
Dude, this fucking baseball game. And even, in the book, I think it's maybe even dumber. Because it, of course, lasts longer.
Yeah, I bet.
But in the movie, they go out to play baseball, and they're all wearing these like old-timey baseball uniforms.
Yeah, but they're not one person is wearing a full
complete
uniform.
Outfit.
They're all wearing pieces of uniforms, which means that whoever they got to do the costuming was like, we got like 2 baseball uniforms, and they were
split
like,
them amongst yourself. Just share. Everybody, grab a piece. That's your outfit. This whole fucking baseball game bullshit is just...
Yeah.
So fucking
They have to
dumb.
play baseball during a thunderstorm so people won't hear the sounds of the bat and think there's thunder. We just have to deal with these logics that she built in here that she must have thought like, oh, airtight logic. That's not airtight logic. People hear thunder off in the distance. They're not going to go, I should check the meteorological
survey.
Where's that
coming from?
Wait, there's no actual thunder right now?
Hang on
I am
now.
going to go check out that field off in the distance.
So vampires need to play their baseball during thunderstorms, but they can just go to high school and masquerade as teenagers all over the country.
Right.
They definitely won't get found out then.
But
dude,
the reasoning behind them going to high school is so they can live in the community for longer.
No, they fucking can't. They fucking can't.
Let me just tell you this. 17 looks like 18. And none of them look like 18. They all look like they're in their mid-20s. So just move there and say, I'm 18.
I don't fucking understand this even for a second. Because, like, you even go into their house and he has that entire, like, mural thing of valedictorian fucking graduation caps.
Yeah.
Which shows...
They've been doing this forever.
You've been going to high school for 100 years. For one... That shit's got to get fucking old.
I
can't even hang around high schoolers for 30 minutes right now before being like, these fucking young, dumb people.
They could disappear in college.
They could vanish. Like, it's not like one of them is like Horace in fucking Near Dark.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're 8, you have to pretend to be a kid.
Yeah.
Like you said, all of them look minimum 18.
Mm-hmm.
Do none of these fucking moron vampires know how to score a fake ID that says, I'm 19, I graduated from high school and I moved to this town, and just live your fucking life? Are these vampires so fucking dumb that they can't figure out how to escape high school? High school?
It's dumb. It's real dumb.
And why would you continue to frequent high schools in different towns all over the country unless you were just a fucking pedophile?
That's the only reason I can think of.
To be around that young stuff,
dude. I can get being a 20-year-old and be like, I miss high school. It was so much easier. I didn't have a job. I didn't have to do shit. Nobody held me accountable for anything. I get that. Once you're 30, nobody's saying I want to go back to high school.
No.
Because
once you're 100, what the fuck do you think you're thinking?
What the fuck would you ever want to go back to an institution that treated you like a prisoner that they had to hope didn't get shot during the day so they didn't have to explain, somebody got shot.
And you go to it 8 hours a day, every fucking day.
Every fucking day.
That's what you want to do.
And you hang out with high schoolers. I'll tell you right now, you'd have to pay me a lot of money to hang out with high schoolers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people do pay me money to hang out with high schoolers and teach them guitar.
Yeah. And it makes money.
Yeah.
Probably still not the thing you would do on your free time.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. It's crazy, man. To me, it's just like the fact that they can't come up with any better plan than, I don't know, we'll go to this town and y'all pretend to be high schoolers, I guess, so you can get that young stuff. It's just fucking gross, dude.
Yeah, see, because, okay, this would have made a whole lot more sense. If Edward Cullen were part of an evil vampire family that moved from town to town to find 16, 17-year-old girls that they could bring into their harem, fucking yes, that all makes sense. I get that. And if Edward is like, I don't want to be like my family, I get that. Boom, you've already got a better vampire story.
That's already better.
Because the villains are connected to him instead of just appearing for some random reason. Like,
dude, here's the thing.
What up? I'm Lil Wayne. I'm Chad Kroger. I'm Stevie Nicks.
That's the trio of bad vampires here. As near as I can tell, the baddies in this are just trying to eat.
They're just vampires.
They're just trying to fucking eat.
Yeah.
They're trying to stay hidden.
Accidentally run into these asshole vampires who are like, no, we just want to molest kids.
We just want to prey on children.
Jesus, get out of here, you weirdos. What are you, eating people?
No, we want to keep them alive and fuck them.
Mm-hmm. We eat animals.
Where's the
fuck teenagers?
Okay. And also, what is the fucking deal with this movie and vegetarian or veganism? Because I don't get it. Because like in this fucking movie and in the book, you know, Edward explains that they just eat animals. They don't eat
he says
humans.
they're like vegetarian vampires.
Yeah. And she's like, can you survive that way? And he's like, oh, it's kind of like being a vegetarian. It's like eating just tofu and plants where you can never be satisfied. And it's like,
dude, I've had vegetarian dishes that have satisfied me.
I'm pretty fucking sure that millions of people all over the world
eat vegetarian.
Eat tofu and vegetables.
India has a billion people. They eat a lot of vegetables.
I think a lot of Buddhists, I'm pretty sure, just eat vegetables and stuff, and they're fine. They're not just barely surviving.
Yeah, and they're not constant. Like you don't.
But again, doesn't that just speak of that limited, sheltered? Yeah,
it speaks of the limited worldview.
So the villains in this, dude, are just such a tacked on piece of bullshit. Like, dude, you are 3/4 of the way through this movie. They play baseball, and then they're like, in order for this to be a story, there needs to be conflict and something bad needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I was expecting this to be one of those things that the movie just did badly. No, the book is the same way. Like, you've had 3/4 of the book just being like, I'm falling in love with the vampire. He's so beautiful. It's like the face of a destroying angel. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm going to rewrite this in caveman. Vampire, pretty. Me vampire, me no pretty. You vampire, you pretty. Me vampire, me no pretty. Me want be vampire. You no want be vampire.
You should do like a whole series of like caveman versions of these shitty stories. Yeah, caveman synopsis.
There you go.
Trademark Dad Lovely. That's fantastic. I actually really like that.
There you go.
But like in the book, it's the same deal where it's like 3/4 of the way through, it's like, fuck, I forgot to put some kind of conflict in here. I was just so obsessed about girl falling in love with really hot guy. I forgot.
I wanted everyone to know how hot he is.
Yeah. I got so wrapped up in letting people know how hot he is that I forgot that there should be some sort of source of conflict. So now there's bad vampires and they want to eat belly Eat belly. Eat Bella. Eat belly. Eat belly Bella.
Mm-hmm.
Only she runs off, but they track her, even though they could just be like, well,
they could eat anybody.
We'll just eat anybody.
And they could be patient about tracking her. They could be like, you know what? I will track her eventually.
Well, especially because, like, in the book and stuff, they emphasize they're basically immortal. Like, they don't have to breathe.
There's no reason why they would ever be on a time clock.
No. It even makes it clear that, like, you can't really starve to death when you're a vampire. So why the fuck are they so obsessed with her? Like, there is no goddamn reason.
There's also no reason why one of them decides, like,
or desirable.
I don't like the other two. You guys should be careful around them. Dude, I'm out.
Yeah, fucking.
I'm gonna go write the Carter. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that dude, like the black vampire guy, just like he shows up, he's all intimidating. Then, like, literally 2 minutes later, he's like, "Yo, James is coming after y'all. I'm kind of tired of his bullshit, so I'm out." The fuck why? The fuck why? It is just so tacked on.
Yeah.
It seriously, just like Stephenie was just so obsessed with writing this fucking stupid ass love story that she was obsessed with that she forgot, like, oh, I have to have a plot in here somewhere.
And they appear way later in the book than they actually do in the movie. Because in the movie, we see them kill that factory guy, and then they kill the boat guy and stuff. But
I played Santa one time. Great fucking character introduction there. Wow, I care about this fucking guy. It's just horseshit, dude. The whole villains
it's real horseshit.
Aren't villains. It's just such a tacked on stupid part of this story.
Almost
as tacked on as the entire lore of vampires.
Yeah.
Which, wow, what incredible exposition.
Yeah.
Where our main heroine here finds out the entire lore of vampires by using Google.
Yeah, well, she looks at a couple books.
Not in the fucking book.
Not in the book. I do know that. Yeah, but in the movie, they gave her a better. Like,
they did better.
Yeah,
yeah. She goes to the library. She like Hermione's it a little bit.
But
seriously, in the book, she's like,
just like
I googled vampires.
2005 Google should do it.
I found vampires.a-to-z.com and read about all of them. Also, I love in this and how, like, Jacob tells her kind of some of the, like, werewolf lore of, like, the indigenous people and stuff.
Whatever.
And he talks about the cold one. She Googles cold one, doesn't even find one beer.
That's a good point.
I mean, if you're Googling, let's just Google a cold one. You're definitely pulling up a crispy Budweiser.
Here's the interesting thing about the research scene is that I'm assuming that is how Stephenie Meyer did her research. So she just wrote a chapter where she was like, I went to the library today.
Dude.
I looked on Google for these things. These are the things I found.
And the way that Bella acts is like as if she's never heard of a vampire before. And also, too,
okay, that is something I can buy into, a world where vampires don't exist, but that is not the case. No. This is a case where vampires exist and there's tons of research about them. She should know that a vampire is a thing.
And Edward and them are so goddamn fucking bad at hiding being vampires.
Not even trying.
They don't even try.
No.
They don't even try to hide it.
It's so obvious. Yeah. Like, they look inhuman.
Yeah.
So, like, I would assume, like, there's no way you get to the point where you're like, maybe we can live in normal society, because you'd all be like, no, I'm looking at you, and you don't look like a human. You look like a fucking vampire.
And you're in your own little group all the time, and y'all never eat food, and anytime it's sunny out, you guys don't come to school.
What?
Come the fuck on.
Seriously.
If you're trying to hide as a vampire and make your existence not known, why in the fuck would you keep enrolling in high school?
It makes no sense.
That's just so goddamn stupid.
Just the dumbest. And why keep interacting with normal society? Like, it would be like me walking into a chicken coop and talking to the chicken. Like,
I am one of you.
I don't truly need to.
You don't actually need to.
Just gonna eat them.
My God, man. It's just so fucking stupid. And yeah, the lore of vampires in this, like, there's some myths where it's like, yeah, they can go out in the sun, but they don't because they get all sparkly and sexy when
it becomes clear they're vampires.
That's fucking stupid. It's clear they're vampires all the fucking time.
Yes, it is.
They, I guess, can leap tall buildings in a single bound.
Yeah.
They're jumpers, these vamps.
We've seen that in other vampires. That's not too outrageous.
They're not transformers. They don't turn into bats or mist or anything like this. They have poisonous fangs. I guess the rules in this are
they don't have fangs so much,
really have
right?
fangs,
yeah,
really,
they don't have fangs.
They don't have like the snap outs or the permanent fixture fangs.
It's just their regular teeth, but somehow they're pushing something through the teeth.
I'm gonna tell you what. Human teeth, not really made to bite into raw surface flesh.
They're not. Yeah, you got more flat teeth than you have like inside.
We got a few pointies, but
yeah,
it's not most of them. Like you would really have to exert some major strength to bite into a person.
Yeah.
You know? But the lore in this is like, according to what we see with Bella, as soon as you get nipped, like it's like getting rabies from a dog, where it's like you don't have to have all of your blood sucked out of your body or like a transfusion kind of scenario. Like you get bit and you're immediately infected with the vampire virus or what the fuck ever. But also I guess you can kind of suck it out like a snake venom.
But you can't suck out snake venom, so you can suck it out like something unlike anything in the entire world.
It's just so fucking stupid.
So wait, do they is it a choice they make when they bite to push out venom? Because he bites her to suck the venom out.
Hey, yeah. God damn it, I don't know. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know, and I don't care.
I'll be honest, the only thing about vampires that the Twilight vampires that people got so upset about is the one thing where I'm like, I don't give a shit. Twinkly skin, whatever. Okay, fine.
You've given me a reason to not put them in sunlight.
Yep, that's enough. If you're saying the sunlight won't kill them, but it outs them as a vampire.
Okay,
cool. I'm fine with that. That's not my problem. My problem is everything else they do.
It's just garbage. It's just garbage, man. I don't understand their relationship. I don't understand their stupid lore. I don't understand why they keep going to high school. I don't understand why Bella is so special and unique to them.
Oh, yeah. Like, she shows up like she's Harry Potter, and it's like, well,
the chosen one.
Harry Potter did something. I mean, not much of anything, but he did something.
Yeah.
That's why people know who he is. They know the story about his parents, and he's the boy who lived. She's just...
Bella.
I mean, she's pretty. I get that she's pretty, but there are a lot of pretty girls at that school. I don't see why everybody, including the girls, would go gaga over her.
No.
It's crazy.
This movie makes me feel like I'm on drugs.
Yeah.
Like, when I watch this movie, I mean, honestly, like, whenever I watched it the first time and I was really, really, really on drugs, I was like, I'm on drugs. This is why this movie feels so weird. I watched it last night, just drinking some tequila and stuff, and I was like, no, this movie feels like it was made by somebody on a ton of drugs.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me feel like more fucked up than like Argento movies and stuff. We've talked about like Argento movies feel like an alien made a movie about how he thinks humans interact.
Yeah.
This makes less sense than that.
It really does. That's true.
Remember that part where Edward takes her to prom?
Yeah. And
even though she can't dance, what a character trait.
Yeah, but he can hold her up and dance her.
And he's like, you
By
should
the way,
go.
That right there. Just seriously, the conception of, oh, you can't dance? I'll dance you.
Let a man dance you.
What the fuck is that?
What if that was a pickup line?
Let a man dance you.
You can't dance? Let a man dance you.
But yeah, so he's dancing her at the prom, and then...
And also he's like, prom is an important rite of passage. They're there for 30 seconds, wave hi to a few friends, and he's like, do you want to leave? And she's like, yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's go become a vampire.
Make me a vampire.
But yo, who's watching from the window across the street? Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks is like, y'all done killed Jack Kroger. Made Lil Wayne leave me.
I'm gonna get mine.
Wrong way. What?
You must never break the chain, she says.
Yeah, she doesn't want you to go your own way. Don't be breaking that chain.
Such just fucking stupid silliness bullshit, Steve.
Yeah, but like,
I hate this movie.
Like,
I hate
why the setup for the sequel? All of the books, I think, were out by the time the movie came out.
It was already a cultural phenomenon.
It was already like, yeah, the sequel's gonna happen. You could just have them be at the prom and him be like, I'm not gonna turn you into a vampire. The end. Or, and she could say, we'll see, or whatever it is.
It's just horseshit.
Dog shit. Yeah,
I absolutely hate the book. I think that actually the movie is worse. I'm seriously at odds here because I'm like, both are absolute fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's like one of them is like dog shit, and then the other one is like dog diarrhea all over your sheets. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Where it's like, they're both, in any context, not great.
Yeah, but the other one was way worse.
Yeah. but I'm so at odds because it's like, okay, the book at least fleshes some things out maybe better.
Yeah.
But it also takes like way longer to get through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more time with this fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, this movie is absolute fucking garbage.
Yeah.
But it only takes 2 hours of my time as opposed to, fucking whatever, 20-hour audiobook of my time.
Yeah, I would agree. That, because, like, I mean, that has to be the feeling of anybody who's read a bad book then watched the movie adaptation of it. Yeah. It's just like, well, at least it was shorter. Yeah.
So I seriously don't know which one I hate more. I think I understand the appeal of the movie less than the book, because if you just watch this movie, there's even less reason for these two to be obsessed with each other and so on.
Yeah.
But it does take less time than reading that godforsaken book.
It does. It saves some time.
This is the worst movie that we've done on the show. This is my least favorite movie that we've
ever done. I mean, I if we hadn't have done that thing where we went through and said like our worst movies we had done up to this point, I wouldn't have really thought of it. But yes, after thinking of the worst movies we've done to this point, watching this is harder even than watching Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
Because...
Well, the movie itself is better than Twilight. Like, Jeepers Creepers is a better
movie
than this. I mean, you learn all the stuff about Victor Salva, and you're like, oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, fuck that.
Any support
for
this.
But at least the creeper design is cool, and, yeah, it's not terrible.
There's no merits to this movie.
There aren't. Yeah,
it looks
because
like
even
shit.
The good actors in this aren't good in
They're
this.
not good
because
in this,
there's nothing to be good about.
Yeah. Soundtrack is dog shit. The editing is dog shit. The look is fucking horrible.
Mm-hmm.
The story is non-existent.
Yeah.
This is all a fucking dumpster fire, and it makes me disappointed that so many humans found something to connect with in this.
Yeah, that's actually, that's always going to be the major thing for me is that, not that this exists. That's fine. Anybody can write a book. It's that so many people read it to the point that she was making $40 million a year in 2010.
I mean, and ultimately, well, like I said at the end of the last episode, it's ultimately that people just love hearing their voices. People love hearing the sound of their own voice.
Which means that this is their voice.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fucking scary.
That makes me extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
People should have better standards for themselves and better ideas of forming relationships other than chase the hottest thing that you can find, even if he is literally a murderer and stalks you and watches you while you fucking sleep and treats you like a fucking child.
If he's an old man who hangs around high schools, I don't know, like Roy Moore or something. Or, that...
But if he's hot, it's okay.
If he's hot, he's okay. Yeah, Roy Moore barely lost.
Yeah.
Like, we just always have to remember that he barely lost. Jeffrey Epstein was murdered in his prison cell, and most people don't care about the fact that he was the provider of children to fuck to tons and tons of powerful people.
Yeah. It makes me disappointed in humanity that this is a success. You know?
Yeah, and that's why this is one of the worst movies ever made, because it makes you disappointed in humanity.
I can watch Jeepers Creepers and be like, the box office for this was huge because it's a scary movie with a monster and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, Justin Long was in it, and
like you said,
it hit all the like early 2000s popular horror movie
And most people don't even do the research. And
they don't care.
But who made it? Where was the sausage made?
Exactly.
In a pedophile's house, you know?
Oh, that's a weird place to make sausage.
Yeah.
I'll have some.
Exactly.
This tastes like a boy.
But people watched this movie and connected with it, and that makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
How are you rating this fucking piece of shit?
It's a 0.
It's a negative. It's a 0.
It earned it 0. This earned a 0. I don't like anything about it. It doesn't deserve any sort of credit for any reason. And anybody who's listening to this right now thinking that we're being too harsh on this,
watch it.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It is. We're being very gentle by even saying all the positive things we have said about it. It still doesn't deserve that.
No.
It doesn't deserve us trying to defend Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson as good actors. Because in this, it doesn't matter if they're good or not. They're terrible.
They're terrible in this.
They're terrible in this. Yeah. I can go out of my way to try to explain how Mormons are and defend Stephenie Meyer. There's no defense. This is bad. She wrote a bad fucking book that a lot of people liked, and it makes me upset that people enjoy it and think that this is how the world is.
Yep. Same, man. Same. I think I would be right there alongside you with a 0 because I would be very stoked to never watch this again. I think the fact that I just read the book and then saw this movie and saw that it actually is a fantastic book to movie translation.
Oh, he deserves some points for that, I guess.
I'm going to give it a 0.5.
That's good. Yeah.
But because I watch this and I go, it's not Robert Pattinson or Kristen Stewart or any of the filmmakers' fault that this is such a piece of shit.
And it seems like everybody who signed on knew what they were doing. Like everybody who signed on was like, "Oh, it's a piece of shit we're making that's going to make a lot of money because people are way
idiots,
into it, and we're doing a very faithful adaptation to that piece of shit that they like."
Yeah, I mean, it's the same way that like whenever I watch, I don't know, like Fight Club or something like that, where I'm like, this isn't a direct translation of the book, but it really captures the tone.
It does, yeah.
Lord of the Rings, same way.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff skipped, but the tone
I don't need to
really
see Tom Bombadil as much as everybody wants, but yeah.
This movie really does capture the completely vapid, shallow, stupid bullshit that the book put out there perfectly. It really does. So for that, terrible. I am giving it 0.5.
Yay!
You did it!
You did it! You captured the shit.
I hope that you guys have enjoyed listening to this because y'all voted on this motherfucker.
Oh, and shout out to Maddie Jones and Matt Palmer who live in Utah. And I don't know if they're former Mormons, but they've definitely dealt with all the shit I was talking about. Maybe they've got some input. Let us know. Yeah,
let us know on the Facebook page or the Discord or whatever, you know? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. This is our last of our No Vampire 2019 series. This one was voted on by you guys. So I hope that you all have enjoyed it, and we'll do some more vampire
You know they're going to bring it back next November. We're doing all 4 of these.
Breaking Dawn or what the fuck ever. Dude, I literally don't remember the other ones. I will not read the books.
Yeah.
I won't.
Why? The thing is that they don't improve. They came out sequentially each year for 4 years. And when she finished the first one, basically just like, sit down and write the next one, I guess. Sit down and write the next one after that.
This thing out.
Like, there was no... Like, if you immediately succeed with a bad book, why would you improve?
Why would you change it? Yeah.
Why would you do better?
No, this is fine. This is clearly working. So, more. Oh, man. Now, next week on the show, we will be doing... Insert Steve telling us what movie we're going to be doing next time because we're going to do a drawing.
Next week, we'll be reviewing Session 9.
Yay!
Yeah, I look forward to covering that.
I can't wait until we do that one. That one's going to be fun.
A lot of fun, man. I'm looking forward to talking about that one. So you guys be sure to tune in. Next week, we'll be talking about that flick and a bunch of other bullshit. If you guys have enjoyed, be sure to rate and review on iTunes. I'm not seeing near enough reviews popping up lately.
Where are the reviews at?
I need more. So you guys be sure to go in there, drop us a quick review ski. It would help us out a ton. If you enjoy the show and want to help support it, well, you can visit our Patreon page.
Yeah, patreon.com/deadandlovely.
Yeah.
Go on over there, become a patron. If you become a $5 patron, you can submit a movie. As Ben said, this movie was suggested by patrons. In fact, every movie we did this month was suggested by patrons. And next week, we'll be doing a Patreon suggested film, which is...
blank. So you guys be sure to tune in for that. Drop some dollar papers if you enjoy the show. Well, thank you all so much. You guys can follow us on social media, Instagram.
Yeah, at Dead Lovely Pod. We have t-shirts for sale. Small through extra large, $25. XXL through triple XL are $28. email us at deadandlovelypod@gmail.com with your order and your address. I'll send you back a price. You PayPal us. I send you those shirts.
Then you wear a shirt and you become super fucking
They're
hot.
really comfortable.
They're really great shirts. They really are. Well, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. This has been another fun month of No Vampire. We will catch you guys next week. Thanks so much for tuning in and listen to us just ramble on and on about all this bullshit. You guys are fantastic. Hope you're having a good week. You all have been fan-fucking-tastic. We have been dead and lovely.
What a stupid dead.
What a masochistic lovely.
Bye.
So, updates from living in the city, week number 2 or 3 now.
It's do or die, I hear.
There's some good things, there's some bad things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm gonna lead with the bad things.
Mm-hmm.
There's construction in the building on the storefronts and stuff that are below us.
Yeah, that sucks.
Okay. It's honestly not so much that there's construction and they're working on it and stuff. It's that all of that moving and shaking they're doing there let loose a fuck ton of mice into the building.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, like...
Yeah, that's going to happen. These are older buildings.
Yeah, exactly.
You're never getting all the mice out of here. It's downtown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, a couple days ago, had a mice or two... A mice or two.
A mice?
Several
a mice or twice.
A mice or twice, it's called. Run around the place, and I was like, God damn, city living, shit. But then, you know what we did? Called the super, and they called the fucking exterminator.
And they dealt with it.
It's not my
not
problem.
Your fucking problem.
Yeah, your building, it's your problem.
Yep.
And we haven't seen any in days, so I'm going to call that a plus. Also, walking down the street the other day, crazy homeless lady in the neighborhood said, "You look just like Steve Perry."
Dude.
I said, I'll take it. Thank you.
So when I went just a second ago to get my glasses and came back, as I was walking across the street, this lady with about 4 teeth rolled down her window and yelled, "Dude, you got a fat ass."
No way.
And then everybody in the car laughed and they drove off.
What?
And I gave them a thumbs up.
Stevie Thick.
Yeah. I mean, I got a big ass. All right.
City life.
City life.